Lights on, screen up. Oh yeah. Death Witch in the house. Pump it up, pump it up. Sexy gaming stream. Feeling right, feeling right. All eyes on him. In the zone tonight. Zone tonight. Joystick in hand, smooth as silk, smooth as silk. Playing with fire, what a thrill, what a thrill, what a thrill. Chat's going wild, hearts on a spree, on a spree. Get ready, folks, it's time to see, time to see, time to see. Everybody move, swing and play, swing and play. Death Witch like, come join the fray, join the fray, join the fray. Groove to the rhythm, don't delay, don't delay, don't delay. Catch that vibe, stay and sway, stay and sway, stay and sway. Come on, yeah. Swinging beats and joystick feats. He's the king of gaming treats. Come on, yeah. Strings so tight, lights so bright. Death Witch is in the zone tonight. Liberty of play, stylish flair, stylish flair. Winning every round, beats to share, beats to share. Watching dominate every way, every way. Feel the rhythm, join the craze, join the craze. Everybody move, swing and play, swing and play. Death Witch like, come join the fray, join the fray, join the fray. Groove to the rhythm, don't delay, don't delay, don't delay. Catch that vibe, stay and sway, stay and sway, stay and sway. Lights on, screen up. Oh yeah. Death Witch in the house. Pump it up, pump it up. Sexy gaming stream. Feeling right, feeling right. All eyes on him. In the zone tonight. Zone tonight. Joystick in hand, smooth as silk, smooth as silk. Playing with fire, what a thrill, what a thrill, what a thrill. Chat's going wild, hearts on a spree, on a spree. Get ready, folks, it's time to see, time to see, time to see. Everybody move, swing and play, swing and play. Death Witch like, come join the fray, join the fray, join the fray. Groove to the rhythm, don't delay, don't delay, don't delay. Catch that vibe, stay and sway, stay and sway, stay and sway. Come on, yeah. Swinging beats and joystick feats. He's the king of gaming treats. Come on, yeah. Strings so tight, lights so bright. Death Witch is in the zone tonight. Liberty of play, stylish flair, stylish flair. Winning every round, beats to share, beats to share. Watching dominate every way, every way. Feel the rhythm, join the craze, join the craze. Everybody move, swing and play, swing and play. Death Witch like, come join the fray, join the fray, join the fray. Groove to the rhythm, don't delay, don't delay, don't delay. Catch that vibe, stay and sway, stay and sway, stay and sway. Lights on, screen up. Oh yeah. Death Witch in the house. Pump it up, pump it up. Sexy gaming stream. Feeling right, feeling right. All eyes on him. In the zone tonight. Zone tonight. Joystick in hand, smooth as silk, smooth as silk. Playing with fire, what a thrill, what a thrill, what a thrill. Chat's going wild, hearts on a spree, on a spree. Get ready, folks, it's time to see, time to see, time to see. Everybody move, swing and play, swing and play. Death Witch like come join the fray. Join the fray, join the fray. Groove to the rhythm, don't delay. Don't delay, don't delay. Catch that vibe, stay and sway. Stay and sway, stay and sway. Come on, yeah. Swinging beats and joystick feats. He's the king of gaming treats. Come on, yeah. Strings so tight, lights so bright. Death Witch is in the zone tonight. Liberty of play, stylish flair, winning every round. Beats to share, watch him dominate every way. Feel the rhythm, join the craze. Everybody move, swing and play. Death Witch like 'em, join the fray. Groove to the rhythm, don't delay. Catch that vibe, stay and sway. Lights on, screen up. Death Witch in the house. Pump it up. Sexy gaming stream. Feeling right. All eyes on him. In the zone tonight. Joystick in hand, smooth as silk. Playing with fire, what a thrill. Chat's going wild, hearts on a spree. Get ready, folks. It's time to see. Everybody move, swing and play. Death Witch like come join the fray. Groove to the rhythm, don't delay. Catch that vibe, stay and sway. Come on, yeah. Swinging beats and joystick feats. He's the king of gaming treats. Come on, yeah. Strings so tight, lights so bright. Death Witch is in the zone tonight. Liberty of play, stylish flair, winning every round. Beats.
What's up, witches? What's up, Jimbo? And the rest of chat, how's everybody doing? I need to put out a tweet, a thing to let everybody know we're live. Get a little music playing first. There we go. A little background music while I do my tweets and whatnot. How's it going, Jimbo? Something else I was going to Google before I started streaming. What else was I going to do? What else was I gonna do? Damn it, I was just there. I had one of those brain farts. You were about to do something and you can't remember what it was. Ba, 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 ba. What was I about to do? Damn it, I remembered it while I was setting up the stream and I can't remember what it was now. Ah, okay. Yeah, I remember now. Okay. All right. Ugh. Minor brain fart. Okay, let's get the tweet out first. Rumble. Need to start trying to cheat the algorithm on Twitter. I ain't gonna do it tonight, but future. I'm gonna start clicking on the trending tab, finding out what hashtags are trending, and then we'll piggyback off them. Try to get some, try to get my tweet noticed. You know, try to get some people in here. Maybe we'll get some people playing. Maybe we'll get some attention. But for now, that we'll just do the standard tweet. Okay. Now, or what I was gonna Google. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun. Oh, that. Dun, 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 dun. So how's everybody been? Okay. Making a quick Reddit post. Da, 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 da. Ah, da, 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 da. Okay. Getting ready to do some more Diablo and just kind of chill. Da, da, da. Might have to make this. All right. What we got here? All right, where are we at? Alright, I can probably look through the rest of this later. Got what I'm looking for here. What I'm looking for there. Alright, there we go. That's where I'll stop that, and I'll turn the Xbox on. Awfully quiet there, Jimbo. Oh shit, I ain't even joined my fucking Discord yet. I still gotta get my rest of my stuff posted. Let's see what in shameless self-promotion. Get rid of all these old posts. Okay, there we go. What's up, Soldier? Bum, 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 bum. Sending out some Snapchat messages before we start. Okay. Dun, dun. Alright, there we go. Alright, kill the music. There we go. 30 minutes and I still haven't done anything. I've chilled, hung out, tried to talk to people who didn't respond, and you know, sent out all the stream stuff, sent out all the promo stuff, tweets and whatnot. You know, we're settling in, man. Sometimes we hang out and just chat. Sometimes we just chill. What is it you want me to do, Jimbo? What is it you're expecting to happen here? What is it you think is going to happen? All right. Work? What do you mean work? What kind of work? What am I supposed to be doing? Play game? Yeah, we do that here. We play games. Sometimes we watch YouTube videos. Sometimes we listen to podcasts. Sometimes we just hang out. That's the beauty of a chill stream. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't have to be hardcore gaming, you know. Well, we can just relax, you know. We're just here to unwind. Work isn't what we're here to do. This is what we're here to unwind. Work is what we're here to unwind from doing, you know. Here to chill. What am I supposed to?
It feels like we're always moving on.
Another campaign quest. Alright. No such thing. No Mo relaxation. That's what we're trying to get. Mo relaxation. Oh, this is this the den now? Oh, yeah, it is. Now it's just filled with people. Oh, shit.
Back
Okay.
to work.
Alright. It said there's a quest here. Where is it? Where's the quest I'm supposed to do here? Now it's gone. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. All right, now let's just. Let's go do the seasonal stuff as we finish the DLC campaign. And we'll just hang out. Chill, relax, game. What we do here. What are you doing, Jimbo? Huh? What's so hardcore about your day, huh? How do you game? Only job? Oh yeah, I wish this was my only job. You know what? I would treat it like work if it paid me. We're not getting paid for this. That's not what's happening here. Yeah. Where's the... There it is. What's going on?
Black ichor, thick as mud, seeps from the earth, tainting all that it touches. Great hulking demons follow in its wake, bearing portals to the fiendish realms. This is not the wanton chaos of the Triune. This is intimate. This is hatred, seething in the veins of the land. Mephisto's vile corruption has returned.
Yep.
We Zakarum are few, but we shall fight this creeping evil to our last. Will you help us?
Okay. Defeat a realm walker. Complete a seething realm. Show me my standing with the... Okay, yep, here we go. Alright, seasonal mechanic. Realm walker spread Mephisto's hatred throughout the land. Slay them to open a seething realm. Delve into the portal and complete the dungeon to earn seething opals. Consuming an opal for a bonus to experience gains and treasure drops in all activities. Earn favor with the Zakarum by battling realm walkers, slaying monsters in the realm, or slaying monsters anywhere within the opal effect. Oh, just seething, just constantly have an opal effect active to constantly make progress, basically.
My brothers and
Okay, I've already got some progress just from playing.
May the light protect you.
Got 2 caches here. Yep, just have that spit stuff out. Okie dokie. We're making progress already. Yeah, they've had a ton to do. Out deep within. Wow, that just cleared up a bunch of seasonal objectives. Gift to the Ancients, yep. Basic needs. Your little brother is on Forza, so he must depart. Oh, feel free to... Hey, wait, why do you gotta leave? You can leave, Twitch open on your phone and chill and hang out while you guys play Forza. He's also welcome to join the stream. You guys can chill, chat. Okay, all that's trash. We'll do one of these opals, though. Go. Got an opal active. So we're ready to go do seasonal stuff. There a realm walker present? Oh, yep, there's one. Starting in 25 seconds. Hello. We gotta hurry. Right on time. If you're gonna leave, I'll probably play a podcast or something to listen to / react to while I stream, since there's no one else here with me. Oh yeah, I gotta message people on Discord. Let them know. Well, I think I sent out a community message. I think that alerts everybody. I think that acts as a notification. I'm not sure. I don't really do those very often. May just send some DMs to the usuals.
Need more time.
Come on. Damn it. I don't have time for this.
Not ready yet.
Okay, there we go, there we go. Found the Realm Walker. Right on time.
Not ready yet.
How does this work? Slay guardians to damage the Realm Walker. Okay, so he's gonna spawn shit and we just keep killing it.
Not ready yet.
Yeah, he got a portal on his back.
Not ready yet. Not ready yet. Not ready yet. I need more time.
Ah, damn. So many people doing it with me. I ain't even got time to kill anything. Everything's just dying instantly.
Not ready yet.
Ooh, gain another level. I write? You write what? Poems? You write poems? Short stories? Songs?
I need more time.
Yeah, bitches. Damn it. I mean to teleport. We'll go down there and teleport to it. Teleport to that shrine.
Not ready yet.
Oh wait, there's a fucking Lilith statue right there. I'm slowly finding them all naturally. I meant to look them up a long time ago because I never actually found them all. I just forgot.
I need more time.
There we go, fuck him up. We weakened him. Now we can go inside the Seething Realm. See what this is about. Guessing it's just a standard dungeon. Ooh, yeah, give me more of those crafting mats. I'm always running out of that. Okay. So we just gotta clear the place out.
I need more time. I need more time.
Hell yeah.
I need more time.
Get in there.
I Need more time.
Alright, realm gate. Choose a realm bonus. What you choose will depend on what drops there in the run. Your torment challenges will drop boss summoning items, infernal machines, gold, equipment, or materials. I got enough materials. Let's go with torment challenges. Grind for some boss summoning items so we can go do some boss runs.
Not ready. Not ready yet. Need more time. Need more time.
And crank up the torment difficulty. I think I've outgrown this one. Powerful now.
Not ready yet. Need more time. Need more time.
Clear the room a little bit. We'll go into this portal. What's in here?
Not ready.
Wheat pack right off gate. Go drop me some good stuff. I guess he didn't. Wait, is there like a treasure chest? There's gotta be something in here worth reason to come in this little room. Reason it spawns this portal. Is there something I missed? No? What the hell? Ooh, there's a treasure goblin down here though. You treasure goblin. You treasure goblin.
Not ready yet.
There you go, get the goblin.
Need more time.
But all he dropped was gold? Kinda lame. Figured he'd at least drop the thing I picked for the dungeon, you know? All summoning materials and whatnot.
Need more time.
He didn't drop anything. It was
Not
just
ready.
gold. Worst treasure goblin ever.
Not ready yet. Need more time.
Okay, got a glyph. Da-da-da-da. You know what? Yeah.
Need more time. Not ready yet. Not ready yet.
Alright, this must be the end of the run. Ah, treasure! Oh. Yeah, I figured that.
Need more time.
Seemed too easy.
more time. Not ready yet. Need more time.
Oh shit! A lot of stuff in here.
Not ready yet.
There we go. Alright, cool.
That's a nice reward.
What did we get? Yeah. Alright, there we go. Complete save line. No, mission accomplished. What do we get? Got staff, which is not as good as what I got. Helmet, which is not as good as what I got. A new recipe for gorilla efficiency. There we go. Come get our magic nodes.
Can't do that here.
Come back if you need the forge.
Can I finally upgrade my potion? Did I get enough crafting materials for that? Should have done a crafting materials run with that realm walker.
Now, Leah, there's something out there killing us, and no one will do anything.
Nope, I still need more of this stuff. How much more? 15 more. I'm almost there. Well, it'll be my last potion. The last time I have to grind this shit. Alright. Gotta be a glitch thing, because I don't even have a fucking... Yeah, I don't even have a fucking yellow quest objective on my tracker, but I got one on the map. Hold on, I'll be right back, guys. Grab a drink and kind of settle in. In the meantime, music. We'll play it. Dun 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 dun. Alright, we're back. Alright, who's online? Nobody. And it's the weekend. People don't log in, people don't do stuff on the weekends. Waffle's been playing VR chat. Jesus Christ. That's it, we've lost him. He's gone down the TBT rabbit hole. We've lost Waffle. It's too late. He's gone full incel mode. Jesus Christ. He's joining TBT on VR chat. Alright, well, you know, it's probably not a huge problem. I hope he finds what he's looking for there. It's probably just a minor problem. So. As for me, I'm gonna find a podcast to listen to while I game. Keep me company since I don't have anybody I can get on stream here. The most despicable lies of Hulk Hogan. Alright, I'll bite. Alright, what's going on, Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan is one of the greatest and most influential wrestlers of all time. He's also one of the most recognizable pop culture figures of the last 50 years. At one point, he had an adoring audience in the millions, but in recent years, wrestling fans have slowly turned on him. Some of the blame can be placed on the numerous scandals that have taken a toll on his reputation.
Because he's a horrible
his
racist
backstage
dickhead.
politicking and refusal to put other wrestlers over has also negatively affected the way he's now perceived by fans. That said, an element that cannot be ignored is Hogan's unparalleled ability to bend the truth. Despite working in an industry filled with storytellers where the line between fact and fiction often blurs, Boleya stands out from the crowd as one of the greatest liars in pro wrestling history. The sheer breadth and depth of his dishonesty is titanic. Countless videos, articles, Reddit posts, and message board discussions have been devoted to this subject alone. Even this lengthy video will only be scratching the surface, but it's a topic so interesting that I felt the need to make a video about it. Because investigating just one lie often reveals layers and layers of even more lies that lead you down a rabbit hole so deep you begin to wonder why he would do any of this. A good place to start would be with one of Hogan's most well-known lies. That being the story of how he was supposed to be the original spokesperson for what would become the George Foreman Grill. It's a story that sounds very plausible when you first hear it.
It's a weird thing to like claim too.
And believed it. The problem is
he's got to do it for attention.
Hogan made it up. The Hulkster has told two entirely different versions of how he supposedly missed out on the George Foreman Grill. He claimed that he left his house early to get some McDonald's and beat all of the soccer moms when it came time to pick up his kids from school.
I went home, hit the answer machine, and it was Sam Perlmutter, the guy that handled a lot of stuff for me and George. He goes, "Hey, Hogan, I got two things. I got a grill and a blender for you, you know."
And when he called Sam back, George had already taken the grill.
George took the grill.
The $300 million grill.
And it made $300 million.
Hogan was left with a mixer that would go on to be marketed as the admittedly cool-sounding Hulk Hogan Thunder Mixer. Despite the fact that this story doesn't make any sense, and that's not how these deals work, many articles have reported Hogan's story to be true. But Hogan has told an entirely different version of the story that contradicts this one. In 2011, he claimed that his agent came to him with the offer to endorse a meatball maker or a grill. and Hogan was so enamored with the Meatball Maker idea that he told his agent to give the grill to one of his other clients, who would end up being George Foreman. Curiously, both of these entirely different stories also contradict the story told by the man who invented the George Foreman grill himself,
Oh,
Michael
shit.
Bone.
Yeah, like,
According to
you're
Bone,
gonna
he
get
sent a
caught. Like,
sample
why
to
even tell
someone
these
he
lies?
knew was working with George Foreman. Foreman was endorsing mufflers at the time, and Boehm wanted to know if he was interested in endorsing something else. However, Foreman wasn't sold on the grill, and he basically forgot about it for months until his wife got involved and he agreed to be the spokesperson for the Lean Mean grilling machine, earning hundreds of millions of dollars in the process.
So if you like your food lean, mean, and tasty, don't forget to pick up one on your way out.
From this side of the story, it seems pretty obvious that the makers of the grill were targeting Foreman specifically and were willing to wait months for him to agree. So
Yeah, I thought it was made with him
really
like
match up with
alongside
what is
him, not
arguably
just
the most reliable narrative.
something they
For his
slapped his
part,
name on.
Foreman hasn't said much on the topic other than saying that Hogan is one of his best friends. Either way, the Hulkster would end up getting his own grill, the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Grill.
Hey guys, I'm Hulk Hogan. Stay with me for the next half hour. I'm gonna show
Oh,
you my
God,
latest
that sounds like a
invention,
nightmare.
Hulk Hogan's Ultimate Grill. Brother.
It would eventually be recalled due to being a fire hazard. The George Foreman grill story is a good place to start this video because it illustrates several themes common to Hogan's lies. At first, it doesn't seem far-fetched. It could almost be believable if Terry didn't choose to lie about something with an established origin story, and if he didn't tell multiple different versions of his story that undercut his credibility. You can see the same traits in Bolea's stories about his athletic past. On more than one occasion, he has told almost verbatim the same story about being scouted by the New York Yankees and Cincinnati Reds, before suffering an unfortunate elbow injury.
I ran up, I picked up the ball, threw it underhand at first base, and broke that little cap on my elbow, so arm was never the same.
Again, it sounds plausible. Lots of pro wrestlers have had athletic careers before cinching up a pair of wrestling boots and stepping into the ring. A notable example would be Randy Savage, who played for several seasons in the minor leagues. The idea that Hogan had a successful high school baseball career before suffering an injury isn't that hard to believe. But a believable lie is never enough to him, so he had to say wild shit like he had a .714 batting average when he competed in the Little League World Series. Who does this guy think he is, Joshua Fabia? The Hulkster probably assumed that there weren't any records to prove his story wrong, but the Little League World Series actually has a record of every kid who ever competed, and Terry Bollea is
why
nowhere
wouldn't
to be
they
found.
keep record?
As you've probably started to grasp, a lot of Hogan's tall tales start with something plausible but become wilder and wilder until he ends up telling blatant lies and getting fact-checked. For another example, let's look at some of his stories.
that explains
from
why
his
he's such a
days
big
in
fan
the
of
movie
Trump.
industry. Hogan has claimed that he rewrote the
That
scripts for a number of
behavior
movies he
sounds
worked
familiar.
on. Most notably, he claimed in his 2002 autobiography that he and Vince McMahon completely rewrote the script for No Holds Barred, but didn't receive writing credits for it because they weren't in the Writers Guild. If you've ever seen the movie No Holds Barred, this actually seems believable. Even more so when you read that the end fight scene, which involves a man getting electrocuted ass first, apparently came to Hogan in a dream while he fell asleep on the toilet. The stories become harder and harder to believe when he says things like Robert Evans, the head of Paramount, wanted to turn him into the next John Wayne. The problem here is that even at the earliest, Robert Evans would have been out as head of Paramount for at least a decade.
Is he trying to like force things to happen? Like if I say it out loud and everyone's a fan of it, maybe it'll get the attention of the people who can make it happen, and then the thing I said will become a reality. Like when the artist at Marvel drew Nick Fury to look like Sam Jackson, so that if they ever made a movie, it would be Sam Jackson, and it worked.
This is not true, because of course it isn't. It's not even the first time he said he's turned down a role in a big Hollywood production. According to Hogan, there's an alternate reality where he played Connor McLeod in Highlander. And there was
how bad would that be?
Real script for a movie where he was supposed to play a cop with Pamela Anderson as his love interest and Brad Pitt as a partner who dies in the line of duty. I just want you to take a moment to picture how fucking awful that would be.
Very.
As silly and hilarious as Hogan's lies can often be, they don't all paint him as a buffoonish storyteller who's caught up in his own imagination. Some of these lies have had a genuine impact on his reputation. Such was the case in the early 90s when his name was tied to a growing steroid scandal among professional wrestlers. In June of 1991,
Yeah, he definitely did
Dr.
steroids.
George Zahorian
I don't care what
III
he
was
says.
convicted on 8 counts of distributing steroids and 4 counts of illegally distributing
in his
painkillers.
defense, it was illegal
Zahorian
for
was the ringside
a time in
physician
the
for
80s, so a
Pennsylvania
lot of them
Athletic
just
Commission,
got hooked on
and
it when
as
it was legal and
revealed
kept
during
doing
the
it after
trial,
they
had been
outlawed
supplying
it.
professional
Became,
wrestlers with the substances. Several
like a
wrestlers
crutch, a habit
testified
that
that
they
they
needed to
purchased
keep-
steroids from
keep
Zahorian
up.
after it was made illegal to distribute them in 1988.
Yeah.
Zahorian himself also admitted that he sold steroids to several wrestlers, including Hulk Hogan and the men who testified. Hogan, who was initially listed as John Doe to protect his identity, was supposed to testify, but was excused at the last minute. Despite avoiding the witness stand, Bollea was now linked with the steroid case. He attempted to clear his name by appearing on the Arsenio Hall show in what he would later refer to in his autobiography as his biggest mistake. In fairness to Hulk, I'm sure he thought this would be his biggest mistake back in 2002. Hogan's appearance on Arsenio Hall was extremely awkward and unconvincing. He opened up by admitting that he had a prior history with Zahorian.
I was one of the patients of this doctor, and then later on down the line, he got into all these other things. But
I'm no lawyer, but that seems like the kind of thing you would try to avoid saying at all costs. Aside from saying basically about 50 times in 10 minutes,
basically, I was being a sling. So basically, I made the right decision. Well, basically, I'd rather not comment on that. But
he trotted out many of the excuses used by fake natties that we are familiar with today. He claimed that he had always been big ever since he was a boy.
He's Trump before Trump, guys. This explains why Trump's a fan of him.
And right now, I'm about 295.
Like
He
they were
also
separated
said that
birth.
he was offended by people speculating about his PED use because it took so much hard work to achieve his physique.
So basically, I was insulted, and basically, I've trained 20 years, 2 hours a day to look like I do.
He wasn't a steroid user, and he didn't use steroids.
But he did, though.
He did use them as prescribed by a doctor as part of a sports therapy program to recover
So
from
I didn't
injuries.
use them, but I did use them when a doctor told me to.
On 3 different
So it's
occasions,
okay.
I had the same type of muscle injuries. That is the extent of Hulk Hogan's steroid use.
It was all bullshit, though.
Yep.
After this interview, Hogan would be
course it was.
publicly called out by fellow wrestlers superstar Billy Graham and David Schultz. Graham claimed that when he met Bollea in the mid-70s, Terry approached him and asked for advice on taking the substances, a story he reiterated 20 years later in an interview with the Hannibal TV.
How do I become a professional wrestler, and how do I take steroids? Oh, he told me he'd been taking steroids for 1 full year at the time I met him.
Schultz went even further, saying he injected Bollea well over 100 times and that sometimes
Jesus.
he took 12 cc's 3 times a week.
All you should do is come out and tell them the truth. Quit lying to them. Tell them the truth, and be man enough to tell them the truth. You know, and say, hey, I did steroids.
Eventually, the bad press associated with Hogan reached the point that he was placed on a leave of absence from the WWF in April of 1992. In spite of this fact, and Hogan ultimately leaving the WWF and later signing with their chief rival, WCW, Hogan's name would be tied to the scandal for several years.
Some people now claim that his hard-muscled good guy image really came from his past use of dangerous drugs.
In December of
yeah, it
1993,
definitely
Vince
did.
McMahon was indicted on charges of distributing steroids due to cooperation from Dr. George Zahorian. This time, Hogan would actually testify, under immunity from prosecution, of course. Although
Oh, of
Hogan
course.
admitted that PED use was fairly common in the Federation and that he used McMahon's secretary as a sort of go-between for Dr. Zahorian, he said that Vince never purchased PEDs for him or ordered him to take them. McMahon was ultimately acquitted of the distribution charges, but the reputation of the WWF and pro wrestling as a whole was tarnished by the steroid scandal.
mean,
For his part,
shouldn't it have
Hogan would
shocked
reveal
anybody
more
that
and
that
more
many
about his
super
PED
jacked men
use
are
as
on
time went
steroids?
by. In his first autobiography, he said that he probably started taking steroids in 1975. But
Their
at the time,
physiques
every
are
wrestler
just
he knew
an
took them,
unnatural
and they were
level
being
of
used by athletes in every sport.
perfect.
Quote, "Nobody said, here, stick this in your ass or eat this pill. It'll kill you. Nobody told us that if you took steroids for 30 years, it could be harmful to your long-term health. I never
Did
had a question
someone
about
have to
whether I
tell
would
you?
take them. It was part of my daily regimen. Did you take a shower today? Yeah. Did you brush your teeth? Yeah. Did you take your steroids today?
That's
Yeah.
impossible.
Okay, let's go. That was the deal. It was how I lived." End quote. On one hand, It is easy to empathize with Hulk Hogan on this issue. Almost every athlete is on something for reasons Hulk even went into in his book. The overwhelming majority of pro wrestlers at the time were on them, but Hogan was singled out because he was so famous and popular.
The paper speculated when my name got thrown in the ringer, it turned into the Hulk Hogan file, and they didn't direct the focus on what this thing was all about.
On the other hand, it was Hogan's popularity that made it so galling when he went onto Arsenio Hall and told everyone that he was a goody-good boy whose body was the result of training, saying his prayers, and eating his vitamins.
And my theme is if you train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and believe in yourself, just like I have done, brother, you can have everything you want out of life, and I'm not ashamed of anything I've done.
And a teeny tiny bit of steroids.
Maybe it should be.
Didn't you guys see how big he was when he was 10? That's all natural, brother. Hogan lying about his PED use was so unconscionable because, maybe more than any other wrestler, he was associated with kids. While the guy was sticking needles in his
Which, I mean, that
his
kind of
likeness was being used to sell children's vitamins.
What's up, Shapes? It kind of, thank you for the follow. It kind of explains why you would lie. It almost excuses it to a degree because the ends justify the means kind of thing.
To show the duplicitous nature of Hulkamania.
But when you're called out for it, maybe teaching kids to tell the truth is a good thing too.
Being the worst. In the end,
don't want to buy a Hogan grill. Oh no, they got recalled to their firehouse.
The same cannot be said for some of his other deceits. Let's take a look at the infamous incident at Survivor Series 1991, where Hogan claimed that Mark Calloway, better known as The Undertaker, injured him. Even though Undertaker's side of the story wouldn't come out for 30 years, I think we should discuss it first, because he mentioned the events leading up to it as well. In The Undertaker's version of events, Hogan was already mentioning his neck backstage for hours before the fight.
So he's telling me, he goes, hey, I got this neck injury. He says, I'm really nervous about taking your finish. And
to which Taker assured him that he would hold Hogan so tight that nothing could happen.
I promise you, I will have you so tight that there's no way possible that you're going to hurt your neck.
When they eventually went for the tombstone spot in the match, Hogan claimed that Taker
he was scared.
As soon as my knees hit, I hear, oh.
Suspension's good. Definitely worth the $40.
As Calloway recalls, he genuinely
although they just kind of turned Diablo 4 into Diablo 3 again.
Killed the Golden Goose, a fear that only got worse as Hulk apparently played at the injury in the aftermath.
Yeah, he's just milking it at this point.
Get my wife and kids on the phone.
He's so scared he's going to lose and it's going to end his career.
To rewatch the match
scared to death of that.
Noticed that Hogan's head came nowhere near the chair. Subsequently, he confronted Hogan as respectfully as he could.
Terry, I watched it back. Your head never hit.
Hogan's response was that when Taker went for the tombstone, he held Hulk so tightly that it jammed his neck because he couldn't move.
That's what jammed my neck because I couldn't move at all.
I think it's important to see the Undertaker.
He can't handle the fact that he lost in a scripted match he was supposed to lose.
If anything, he's
I don't understand the point of the lie.
Straight on a story that Hogan has told about him for several decades.
Other than
with each retelling
he's just
the
worried
others.
his career is going to end if he's not seen as like the best wrestler ever.
Said that Ric Flair slipped a chair into the ring and the Undertaker hit him with a pile driver on top of the chair.
Got to be a
he also
ego
screwed
thing.
my neck up something fierce. It wasn't his fault. He took care of me and made sure my head didn't hit the mat. But the jolt of my neck being stretched like that sent me right to the hospital. I was in there for a couple of days. Everybody wanted to fuse the discs in my neck.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
But I decided against it. It would be years before I got all of the feeling back in my arms. But 6 days later, I was wrestling The Undertaker again in a special pay-per-view rematch called Tuesday in Texas because Ric Flair's interference had made the title null and void. End quote. During a 2006 episode of Hogan Knows Best,
I like this class.
The story and give
Spiritborn classes.
The most insane
got a lot of variety in his gameplay style. You can go melee, you can go ranged, you can go speed.
There may be to Hogan's story of potentially being injured during this match.
Still kind of experimenting with it. I'm liking this build
on the
though.
concrete by the Undertaker in 1974, because A, that didn't happen, and B, Mark Calloway was 9 years old in 1974. This version of events is so odd even for Hulk Hogan that
It seemed pretty OP.
Just had a
I don't know. I hadn't got to like the harder difficulties yet to see if it stays viable, you know.
And Hogan released his second
Come on out, buddy.
My Life Outside the Ring. He dialed back the insanity, but
Oh,
this
two of them.
version of events still contradicted the one from his first book. In this retelling,
And I
Hogan
can
said
spam
that
my
Taker
ult.
dropped his head on the metal chair, and
The ult recharges if I get kills while doing it.
This
I guess
was
it isn't going to
all
happen during
apparently part
bosses.
of the
But
plan, according to Hogan. What wasn't part of the plan was how sweaty Hogan was, and as a result, when Taker dropped the tombstone on him,
I
his
got stuck
skull
behind
made
the pillar.
contact with the chair, and the jolt of the whole move threw his
Are
neck
you mad,
out.
bro?
I'm putting all of that in quotations, by the way. Hogan would go on to say that after eschewing doctor-advised surgery on his neck, he went to a chiropractor in Tampa. And after 6 months of hard work and deep tissue massage therapy, he was able to get back to some sense of normalcy. According to Hogan, the repercussions of that move have never gone away. The backs of his triceps were still a little numb, and he couldn't feel anything in the tips of his fingers, which made it difficult to tie
And kept
his
up with the other
bandanas
classes
or
knowing,
button
oh my god!
shirts. This, again,
Jesus!
contradicts what he said in
Surrounded
his
by a bunch
first
of those
book.
kamikaze guys as soon as they
Quote,
come back.
"It would be years before I got all the feeling back in my arms." End quote.
Oh, there's a
Over
hell
the
tide
next
here
few
now.
years, Hogan would change
Okay.
and tweak this story while keeping the broad strokes of it the same. During a 2010 interview with Michael "The Voice" Schiavello,
Oh, okay.
Hogan admitted that when he watched the tape of the match, he realized his head didn't hit the mat.
But I looked the tape back, and my head never hit.
However, he attributed the jerk of the move to his neck injury and claimed to not have any feeling in his shoulders, triceps, or hands.
I still don't have any feeling.
So even though I never hit the mat, I was injured. I promise. I swear it, guys.
Wow. A little later,
Yeah,
he
this
claimed
explains
the
why you're
injury
so
wasn't
buddy with
anyone's
Trump, man.
fault.
You guys are like
'Cause my
kindred
head didn't
spirits.
hit. It wasn't like he dropped me.
Lions like
It
breathing
wasn't
for these
anything like
guys.
that. It was just the jerk of my neck not being.
They can't
strong
help it.
enough.
Funny how we've gone from "ow, you got me, brother," to "it wasn't like he dropped me or I slipped, it wasn't anything like that." The story does get even more interesting, though. Back in January of
Yeah,
2013, Hogan filed a $50 million
learning about how
medical malpractice
big a
lawsuit
piece of shit Hulk
against the
Hogan is.
Laser Spine Institute.
I mean, it's a
claiming
thing
that
we
they
all kinda
persuaded
already
him
knew,
to
but-
undergo multiple ineffective spinal procedures that made his back
Beat
problems
sitting here in
worse.
silence, you know, like to chill
During
out,
the
listen to some
deposition
stuff
for
while
the
I,
case, Hogan, being
while I get
under
my grind
oath,
on.
gave what is presumably
By the
the
way,
most
I'm looking for
truthful
people to do
version
some of the
story.
in-game activities. If you,
From his side, at least.
you wanna,
When he was
you wanna join
directly
in.
questioned about his previous statements, calling the tombstone from The Undertaker the straw that slaughtered the king.
I know.
He
I
said
see
he
a lot of
didn't
people
remember
playing
writing
Sorcerer
that.
this
When
season.
asked
It
if
looks
he
like
said
that
the
may be
tombstone
OP.
was the
Like that may be the meta
nastiest tombstone
build
of all tombstones
this season.
that caused his neck, calves, shoulder, biceps, triceps, and forearms to go numb. Hogan said that wasn't completely accurate. Hogan was further asked if he had claimed that the repercussions for Undertaker's tombstone in 1991 had never gone away, and Hogan gave some strange story about how he regained feeling in his hands after burning them on a radiator, but also said that he had adapted to the numb fingers by learning to tie bandanas and button shirts differently.
He'll adapt.
Overall, the story is pretty weird. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Hogan did get his neck jammed or tweaked during the match with The Undertaker at
I mean,
Survivor
yeah,
Series.
accidents are gonna
It
happen,
doesn't
but
take a lot of direct force to hurt
you have
your
to
neck,
exaggerate
and
'em?
apparently he was hospitalized after the match for real. It's also quite possible that he has some numbness in his hands, but he has had many injuries and multiple spinal surgeries throughout his long career. The problem is that he has told so many conflicting versions of this
yeah,
story. Some
you've got a
of them
boy that
being
cried
so
wolf
outlandishly
situation going on
wrong
here.
that you wonder
So
how
when
he
something
came
really
up with
does
them in the
happen
first
to him,
place.
no
If
one's
The
gonna care or
Undertaker is
listen.
to be believed, and there is no reason to think he's lying about this, Hogan also changed his story when confronted with evidence, but still maintained that Taker had injured him, seemingly just so that Hogan could have something to hold over his head.
You know, I was like, okay. I kind of realized, okay, I know what you're all about.
Yeah, he just wants leverage
That's all I
over
needed,
people.
you know.
Trying to guilt
Then,
trip him
years
into
later,
letting
he
him
reverted back to
become the
story
star.
about being tombstoned onto a steel chair, even though he had long since known it never happened that way. This is a pretty abridged version of the story, too. David Bixenspan wrote a lengthy post about this on Substack that I cribbed pretty heavily for the video. I would suggest checking the post out, though, because he does go over the story in more detail. At the end of the day, it's sort of a boy who cried wolf situation.
Called
Hogan
it.
has lied
Ah,
about the story
that's the thing
so
I said.
much that there is no way to know when he's actually telling the truth. That is a pretty common thing with
I
him
swear I
that
didn't
will
pre-watch
become a
this.
running theme as we get deeper into this video. Time and time again, he is able to find the borderlands between fact and fiction. He can take a story with a grain of truth and weave it into a narrative that seems plausible enough at first glance. Although, upon closer inspection, it reveals a tangled web of exaggerations, if not outright lies. A prime example of this phenomenon would be Hogan's history of claiming to be involved in so-called shoot fights. In
Shoot fights?
2009, he told Anthony Cumia's arch-enemy Boomer Esiason that during his time in Japan in the 1970s, he faced off with a lot of Pride fighters and didn't know whether he would be getting into the ring with a shooter or not. This was a point that he reiterated in 2023 during an appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, where he again stated that he wrestled with Pride guys in the 70s.
Is he just stealing some of Wolverine's origin story as his real life
First
backstory?
event until 1997. If that wasn't enough,
Trained in
Hogan
Japan,
also
like
claimed
Batman.
that he was offered a spot in the first UFC
The
event,
fuck?
but turned it down because, quote, it was very violent and the referees weren't stopping matches.
A miss on the
and
hand
letting
from all that
guys get
yapping.
beat up when they
He's
should
worth
have been
about 25
stopped.
million.
And
That is
that
excessively
said,
low for a
shortly
wrestler,
after Hulk made
especially
this
one
claim
with
in
his
April
level of fame.
2015, UFC co-founder Campbell McLaren said it was bullshit and he never asked Hogan to be in the UFC. As far as I know, nobody has come forward to corroborate Hogan's
I
claim.
think the only
But
wrestler
rabbit
that
hole
like
goes
made
even
his way
deeper.
into the
In
UFC was Brock
2004
Lesnar, right?
WWE DVD
That
Hulk
actually
Still
became a
Rules,
real fighter instead of
Hogan
a fake
made
one.
the bizarre assertion that one of his matches with Tatsumi Fujinami was an out-and-out shoot, implying that Fujinami was trying to beat him for real and take the WWF title. Only there doesn't seem to be any evidence to support this, other
No.
than the Hulkster's word. Hogan only wrestled Fujinami a handful of times as far as I can tell, and none of the available footage looks like anything other than a worked wrestling match. It's a case where Hogan
Yeah,
can't be
no one's gonna go off
100%
script 'cause they
proved
could lose their
wrong,
job.
but the story
Like,
simply doesn't add up. I'd argue that
wrestling's
this is why
all
so many of
staged. It's
Hogan's
basically,
shoot
you know,
fight-related
stuntmen
stories stem from his days
performing
in Japan.
an act for
With
our
the
amusement.
line between work and shoot sometimes blurring in those days, there is some degree of
Yeah,
plausible
I know.
deniability.
As shocking as it
And
is, I'm
unlike with
not
many
a
of
pro
his other
gamer. Imagine
lines,
that.
He can't be fully proven wrong. This is where we come
I'm
to
just
the
an
story
idiot
of
with an
Koji
Xbox.
Kitao and John Tenta, another famous shoot fight that occurred in Japan in the 90s.
I gotta look
in
up what a
April
shoot
of
fight is.
1991, the WWF put on a show with the Japanese wrestling promotion Super World of Sports called Wrestle Dream. One of the matches from this
fuck.
card between Koji
It's a bad part
Kitao
about my
and
build
John
is I can't
Tenta,
really do
aka
those
Earthquake, has
events where I'm
become quite
supposed to stay
infamous
inside
over
the
the
circle
years
because the
of
minute I
way it
start attacking, I
evolved into a
teleport out.
legit shoot. Both men were at one time sumo wrestlers. Kitao made the rank of Yokozuna before being forced to retire amid controversies that aren't really germane to this video. Tenta started as an amateur wrestler in his home country of Canada, but later became an NCAA-level wrestler for LSU, as well as playing football and rugby. In his early 20s, he became a sumo wrestler and would amass a 24-match unbeaten streak in 8 months. However, he would ultimately quit sumo due to the physical demands of the sport and potentially the fact that he would have needed to get a skin graft to remove the large tattoo on his arm.
Oh
This
yeah, that's
shared
right. They have
background
like
in sumo has
aesthetic
led some
rules
people to
for
believe
that
The
too.
match went south because Kitao did not want to lose to a lower-ranked sumo wrestler. But
Skin
this
grafts
matter
are how they
still
used to
remains
remove
somewhat of a
tattoos
mystery.
before, like the
match started
laser,
off pretty
lasering
normally,
it off
but
half.
it began to
became
go
a thing.
south around the 3-minute mark when Tenta grabbed a waistlock and Kitao appeared to genuinely hand fight him and refused to work. Shortly afterward, Tenta manhandled Kitao to the ground and covered him. Kitao escaped by scurrying under the ring ropes, and from this point on, chaos ensued. Kitao threw a table at the ring in frustration while the crowd booed him. He eventually got back in the ring, but the atmosphere had become much more tense. For several minutes, they mostly circled each other, with Tenta attempting to initiate worked wrestling scenarios, and Kitao trying to grapple for real while throwing shoot kicks at John. For much of this match, Kitao had his right hand cocked up with 2 fingers extended, and on multiple occasions he attempted to go for Tenta's eyes. After several more minutes of tense circling and shoot kicks from Kitao, Tenta shouted at him, appearing to say, "Who do you think you are? This is pro wrestling." After this, the footage cut to a package declaring Tenta the winner by disqualification, but footage from the crowd showed Kitao kick the referee. After being disqualified, Kitao left the ring and grabbed a microphone, where he apparently proceeded to bury Tenta and the crowd and call wrestling fake. By this point, you're probably saying,
Oh yeah,
"I
that
thought
was a
this
scandal
supposed to
back in
be
the
a
day.
video
People
about
couldn't
Hulk
believe
Hogan.
that that
How does
crazy
he fit into all
performative
of
shit
this?"
was fake.
In
It's
August
kinda
of last
like
year,
we
Hogan
all know it
appeared
now,
on This
but
Past Weekend with Theo Von,
back in
and
the
claimed
day,
that
man,
he was supposed to be Koji
people
Kitao's
believed that
original
shit.
opponent.
They were
So
invested.
this sumo wrestler, who was his first night, the booker told this Japanese guy that he wanted him to put me over. He goes, "No, I'm not letting him win."
However, when they learned that Kitao intended to shoot on Hulk and beat him for real, John Tenta stepped in to take Hogan's place.
Big guy there from Vancouver named John Tenta called Earthquake. And him and I were really good friends. He goes, "No, Terry, you're not going out there. I am." As soon as Tenta went out there, this guy tried to hook his eye.
Let me guess, none of that happened. You're making it up.
It's a story that seems to fit Tenta's reputation as a badass who could hold his own in a real fight, as well as being an all-around stand-up guy.
But it's a fake one.
It probably didn't happen. I've seen some comments saying that other wrestlers confirmed Hogan's story, but I can't find that. Either way, it just doesn't add up logistically. Hogan did wrestle on the same card against Yoshiaki Yatsu in the main event for the WWF title. Tenta versus Kitao was the fourth to last match on the card, which means that if Hogan's version of events was accurate, he would have initially been facing Kitao in the main event for the WWF heavyweight belt. That seems like something people would have remembered about this already infamous story.
Yeah,
also,
it would have been a
means
pretty
that they would have
high-profile
had
match.
to switch the bout order around, making a new main event sometime the night of the show, but no later than the fourth to last match on the card. Otherwise,
I think
Tenta
people
would
want to
not have
believe
been
since
able
there
to
was nothing
volunteer
at the
himself
time.
to take Hogan's place.
Yeah, like I said,
against
man,
Kitao.
people were invested
But
in
that
it back
isn't
in the
how
day.
Hogan
Like I remember
describes
when
it
I was a
happening.
kid,
He
like
makes it seem like
my
he was
older
about
brother
to
was
walk out to the ring for the
obsessed
match
with
when
wrestling.
Tenta stepped in, which
Like,
just couldn't have happened.
he got as into that as
Additionally,
people
if
get
there
into
is
like
any
UFC and real
promotional
fights. So
material from this
people
card
thought it was
showing
real.
Hogan
Like
against
they would take
Yoshiaki
bets on
Yatsu
who
in the
would
main
win,
event,
like it was a real
the story
thing.
to be a lie.
Now you can kind of predict it
Honestly, the
because
whole
you know
story
it's
is
just
perplexing.
it's just a
Hogan's need
performance.
to insert himself into
So you're
this
basically
well-known
now
event
it's less
doesn't
about
make sense.
who's the
fact
better
that he
athlete and
waited
more can I
until after
predict
John
like
Tenta was dead to tell it just
the plot
seems
line for the
really
show. It
brave
would
and
be like,
empathetic.
you know,
Especially
betting
because
on The
he says
Walking
Tenta
Dead.
was a good friend
You,
of
you know,
his.
which character's
Even
going to die.
this isn't
Which,
the most
to be
ridiculous
fair, I
story
think
Hogan has
people
told
did
about
that
being
too
in a
back
shoot
when that
fight,
show was
though.
at its peak.
No, that goes to him saying he once boxed George Foreman for 3 rounds. As Hogan explained in his autobiography, his good friend George Foreman invited him down to Houston for a charity event at his youth center, which Hogan felt the need to point out was hot and not air-conditioned. But to Hulk's surprise, there was a boxing ring in the middle of the youth center, and unbeknownst to him, Foreman had told all of the kids that they were going to box for 3 rounds. Thankfully, Hogan had enough self-awareness not to claim that he was competitive in this boxing match. He basically said that Foreman was toying with him and still punched him in the arm hard enough to make his legs go numb. I don't understand the medical explanation for that, so maybe a doctor can explain it in the comments. What makes this story so preposterous
Do people
to me
still watch?
is not the
Well,
idea
oh,
that
The Walking
Hulk
Dead.
Hogan got
Yeah,
inside a boxing ring with
yeah,
George
it's still
Foreman.
one of the number one
It's
shows
the
on
fact
TV.
that there is apparently
It's actually got
no
3
evidence.
separate shows at
Really
this point.
think
It's
about
gotten
that
bigger.
For a minute. Hogan and Foreman. sometime
There's
in the
now
90s,
The Walking Dead.
global
No, they ended The
superstars
Walking
still
Dead
close
with
to
season
peak of their
11. So now it's The Walking Dead
Engaged in a
Daryl
charity
Dixon. He got
boxing
his own
match,
show. They
and
did
there
a
is
spin-off
no
for
evidence
Daryl.
of it.
The
Now,
Walking
you might say
Dead
that
Dead
this was
City,
impromptu
which stars
sparring
Negan
session for
and
some kids at a youth center.
Maggie.
So maybe there
So they
were
got their own
journalists
show.
around.
And then The
Aside from
Walking
the
Dead
fact that
Those Who
even if this
Live,
match happened in the
which
deepest backwater
was
ass
originally
crack
going to be a
of
movie.
Cambodia,
They were going to do a Rick
it
Grimes
probably
movie
would've
to
been a guy
like
with a Polaroid
wrap up
camera
the
that
story
had
with
snapped
Rick
a
and
couple of
how
pictures
things
to
ended
put on
after
Then Post.
he disappeared
Hogan
off the
says in
show
his book
because they didn't
that
kill him on
front
the show.
TV
He just
stations
kind of
were
got
there.
kidnapped.
I'm not saying
So they were
this
going to
event
like wrap that up with a
100%
movie,
happened.
but that got made
Maybe
into
one
its
day
own show
somebody will dust
starring
off
him
an
and
old
Michonne.
VHS tape, and it will be a news clip of Hogan and Foreman
So,
boxing.
yep, that is
Maybe
still going
sitting right
strong,
next
and I
to it
think
will
the
be
other
footage of Wilt Chamberlain's
one, the
100
first spin-off,
game
is still
two,
going too.
or the alternate
The one
angle
that
of the moon
starred
landing.
Morgan,
As absurd
or
as
rather
the
that they
story
roped
is,
Morgan
though,
into to save that show because no one was watching it.
small chance it's
What
true.
was that one?
Hogan isn't
Walking
lying
Dead Days
wholesale
Beyond,
about a well-known
or
and
something like
documented
that.
event in history. You can't say the
The
same
one, the
about many
prequel
of
to the
his
original
other
show.
lies. Hogan's biggest and probably
Made money.
most
They are
well-known
still
lie
making money
is less
off
of
of
a
that show.
single lie in particular,
Which I could go on a rant,
series of
and I probably
retcons
should.
regarding
I should
his
probably make it into a
legendary
YouTube
match
video
with
because I've
Andre
had
the
this rant
Giant
more than once on my
at
stream
WrestleMania 3.
about
Over
why
the
The
years,
Walking
Hogan has given
Dead
dimensions
is
for
as
Andre that
successful as it
apparently
is.
range as high as
Is the
7
most
feet 4
successful
inches
comic
tall
book
and
thing
800 pounds.
on television.
But those numbers and the alleged injuries
And it
Hulk
rivals
sustained during the lift have
Marvel.
changed over time. In his
Why that
2009
works
memoir,
so well
he
and
said
why
that
it's able to
Andre
go
was
on
nearly
so long
700
without
pounds,
having to
and
like
lifting
do what
the
Marvel
giant
did
with
and
a
like
slim, toy
rope in a
muscles
bunch
in
of
his
other
back. He
franchises
seemingly
and
ran
you know
the
already
biz for just
popular
under
characters,
700
but
pounds story for
why it's
several
probably
years.
going to
When
last
speaking
even
to
longer
Bubba
and
the
why
Love
it's
Sponge, he said that they weighed Andre at a baggage
the
claim
best
at the
comic book
airport in
series on
Detroit,
television.
and he weighed
There's a few reasons for it.
697 pounds. He also claimed that
And The
lifting
Boys
Andre
kind
up
of
with a
also
slam
falls
tore
into
all the
this.
muscles in his back as well as his
So The
shoulders
Boys will
and
probably
both
go for a while too
triceps.
unless they
In
really fuck it up.
2010, Hogan told a similar
There are
story to
simple
Michael
rules
Schiavello, but in
that
this
they need to
version,
follow?
Andre was closer to 690 when they weighed him.
And we went to...
Let me pause that. So there's simple rules that need to be followed. Really only like 3 rules that if you follow these, when it comes to television, and you're adapting your comic book thing to TV, you will be successful. As long as you've got a well-written story and people become invested. You will be successful. Yeah, like The Boys is a good show. The Walking Dead's a good show. It's had its ups and downs, don't get me wrong. I mean, they went 11 seasons on that original show, and then all the spin-offs, like, when you've got that much content, it can't all be bangers. You know, you're gonna have some filler seasons. You're gonna have some like not as interesting stuff. People are gonna check in and out, just because even if the show's really good, people are still gonna check in and out because the show's been going for so long that people, you know, they get burnt out. They want to do other stuff, and then after they've taken a break for a while, they end up coming back. Yeah, it happens all the time. Like that doesn't mean the show's gotten bad. I haven't watched any of the spin-offs. I watched the original series, I watched all 11 seasons of the original show. But when he was writing The Walking Dead, I don't know about the guy for The Boys, that might just be a coincidence, but the writer for The Walking Dead, the original comic book writer who did also work on the show, Robert Kirkman, he has the same attitude. Like, he clearly understands what would make a good comic work because he had rules for his comic when writing it, rules that he wouldn't break. And as long as you followed those rules, you could maintain an audience. Because the number one thing that makes that makes comics hard to get into for normal people, and the reason why they don't become more popular, is because they get convoluted and confusing. And when you've got an ongoing story that lasts for that long, it becomes hard to get invested in it when people keep resetting the timelines in these comics and like nothing matters. You know, because, I don't want to get too invested because then there'll be some big world-ending event that'll reset the timeline, and we're basically just going to start over anyway. People don't like that. That's why I like the worst way you can end your movie or, you know, TV show or whatever in traditional media. The meme for the worst ending ever is it was all a dream. People hate when they think all the stuff that they just saw was irrelevant and doesn't matter. People hate that feeling. Even if it's all a dream, wouldn't be a bad ending and would make sense. When you do that, it cheapens the whole experience, and people tend to hate that. So the two major rules that Kirkman followed when making The Walking Dead was he had two major rules that he wouldn't break. These two were unbreakable rules. His first rule was no time travel. Time will only move in one direction. There'll be no time travel. And the second rule was that death is permanent. So no time travel, no multiverses. You can't do anything to bring characters back to life. You can't do anything to change the timeline or rewrite history. Stuff that happened in these comics will have always happened, and the timeline will only go in one direction, making it one cohesive, flowing story. So people can, you know, pick it up and follow the story and not have to worry about all of the time that they've invested in this story, and following it is going to be irrelevant because, you know, they time traveled and brought Glenn back, or they time traveled and now Negan is, like there's no multiverse where Negan's a good guy. None of that. Those are the two major rules that he didn't break, and you'll notice that the MCU, after Endgame, kind of fell off when they started doing both time travel and multiverse stuff. A general audience, people who aren't comic book fans, who are just getting into this stuff as a movie, as a TV show, they check out when you do that because it feels like nothing they just watched mattered. They hate that. It's why a lot of people have stopped watching Marvel stuff. It's why, a lot of people stopped watching. That's why the Flash movie tanked the DC universe, because you immediately introduce time travel, and people, they hate having the rug pulled out from under them, so to speak. So those are his two major rules, where no time travel, no multiverse stuff, death is permanent. And his last rule was, because people kept asking him, even during the comics, and they started asking again during the show, because remember, The Walking Dead starts with Rick going into a coma from being shot. And then the show starts with him waking up from a coma. So there was always like this fan theory that people would constantly ask him of, is this all a dream? Like, is that how The Walking Dead ends, as Rick wakes up and we're back in episode 1, we're back in the first comic where he wakes up from his coma and the whole apocalypse was something he dreamed up and all our original characters are back there and he's made all these, and he gets to have a happy ending, which he has confirmed multiple times. It's not a dream. Everything you're seeing is really happening. This really is the end of the world. Yeah, like he knows better than to cheapen the experience. He did do that in a episode of the show. He did do a dream of that dream. Because, yeah, imagine what it would look like if that really happened. So he did do a dream. I forgot which character it was. One character was about to die, and, like, as they were dying, you know how they say your life flashes before your eyes as they were dying? Well, he got a flash of the afterlife as he was dying, or a hallucination, whatever you want to call it. But it basically showed, like, all of the characters on the show that had died up to that point were all gathered around the table eating dinner, and, like, they were all friends. And, like, hey, what if they hadn't died? What if it was all just a dream? Yeah, he was... Like, that character hallucinated them waking up from a... It was a really well done scene, because he hallucinated himself waking up from the bed he was in as he was dying in the real world. And he hallucinates himself going out to the backyard, and all your favorite characters are back, and they're there, and they're all eating dinner, and the world didn't end, there's no more zombies. And then it flashes back to reality, and you realize that that's just what he's seeing. He's just imagining that as he's slowly... Yeah, he died by turning into a zombie. Like, that was what he... Those were the last things he saw before he completely turned into a zombie and lost his humanity. It was a really well done scene. It was a really cool way to do the transition of human into zombie, if you're going to show that on screen. And it showed, like, how lame it... And it also served the purpose of showing how lame it would actually be if that's how we ended the show, you know?
Not ready.
The guy's a good writer, don't get me wrong. Like he understands what makes a good comic, what makes a good story.
Need time for that.
Robert Kirkman's a good writer. He clearly is a guy who understands comics.
Need time for that.
The best seasons of The Walking Dead, like if people are gonna watch The Walking Dead and they're not really into zombies or any of that stuff and they don't know where to start, you only gotta watch 2 seasons. You can kind of piece together the story as you watch season 6 and season 7. Those are the 2 best seasons of that show by far. And they're so good, in fact, that they made history. So the season premiere of episode 7, season 6 obviously ends on a cliffhanger, and then people had to wait for the conclusion. The season finale of episode 6 was the most watched TV show, singular episode of a TV show in history, until the premiere of season 7, which outpaced it and is now the record holder for the most watched singular episode of a TV show in history. Like, it made Marvel numbers. It's really fucking good. So good that they played that season premiere of the show because they knew how big it was going to be. It was the biggest event in the Walking Dead like universe, like comic books, and they were you know finally doing it on TV. They saw how big the season finale of season 6 was. So when the season premiere for season 7 came out, they actually played that episode, that season premiere episode, in movie theaters. Like, you could buy tickets to go watch a television show. And it sold out. It is, like, I would say, even if you don't like zombie stuff, and you're not a huge fan of The Walking Dead, you just thought the show was okay or whatever. I mean, the first season was also really good. But it... like, just as part of, like, cinematic, like, television history, you should watch those 2 seasons. You can check out of everything else, but watch those 2 seasons. Because they're part of television history. Like, they made history, and it's... even if you're just watching it as, like, a educational thing to be like, what made these... to, like, analyze it and be like, what made these so popular. Even if you're not invested in the story, but you're more interested in, like... the historical aspect of it and what made these so good and why did these become, you know, as big as they did, like what was the draw, you know, even if you're just watching it to analyze it, it's that is the, it's so good. It is so good. Like that is the best opening, like season finale / opening to a television show I've ever fucking seen. Like, the Game of Thrones writers could have taken notes from this comic book guy. Yeah, like, it beat... Game of Thrones hasn't even touched that episode. Like, that episode is the reigning champion. It is still the biggest in television history. I'm sure something will beat it eventually, but my God, it was an event. It was an event. Like, when I say they showed it at theaters, they showed it at every fucking theater. Like, I remember the premiere for the show. Like, they had cameras set up at all these theaters and all these, like, big things to show, like, during the credits for that episode, to show, like, how other people were experiencing it. There were, like, drive-in movie theaters and, like, concert venues where people were just sitting on the lawn watching these, like a concert. Like, they just put them on a big Jumbotron screen. Like, it wasn't just selling out movie theaters. It sold out stadiums. Like, it was insane, the numbers that this one episode of a TV show reached. Like, it hit Marvel numbers. I remember, like, seeing that during the credits. They showed people, like, at concert venues sitting in the grass like they were watching a concert. I mean, I watched it in my home, but I didn't realize it was that big a fucking deal. And there, you know, there's people crying. It was when they showed the people in the crowd at the concert venue, and they're all sitting there on the lawn, like they had overflowed the chairs. People were now just sitting on the grass, and then they panned the camera back, and it looked like a fucking Taylor Swift concert. It was just this mass of people. People are crying and screaming. I think they played the episode twice in a row, because people missed part of the episode from all the people getting emotional. Like, it was a master class in how to do television. Like, it really was. Whether you love The Walking Dead, or whether you love zombie shit or hate it, or whether you love The Walking Dead, or you're a hipster who hates things just because they're popular, you owe it to yourself to at least watch it to, like, understand why it was popular, why it got as big as it did. Because that is the defining moment for why the show got as big as it did. Its numbers exploded after that, and then they slowly declined, you know, as people dropped off. Like, it's hard to maintain those numbers. People always look at the numbers and go, well, after season 7 the show fell off. I'm like, no, the show reached record-breaking heights in season 7. Like, you can't maintain those numbers. Nothing that big maintains those numbers. Those are ludicrous numbers to maintain. The fact that it even reached those numbers is a testament to how good it is, not how bad it was. Like, it's just, I'm sorry, man, the facts don't care about your feelings. If you hate the show because you feel like it's garbage, well, the numbers don't lie. Like, it's that good for a reason. It's watched that many people watch it for a reason. That's just how this works. Let's fight the boss. Do I gotta do another one? How many do I have to put down to summon this damn thing? Oh, there we go. I got enough now. I'm not super passionate about The Walking Dead in itself. I'm super passionate about comics, sure. But it's more the writing, the art, and, like, what to do and what not to do. And me being frustrated / shocked that comics have been around for 100 years at this point almost. And comic book movies and TV shows have been done since the 70s, since the 60s or 70s. I mean, when was the first Superman movie? Fuck, I think there may have been stuff before that. Wasn't, like, The Phantom, I think, was one? No, Dick Tracy? No, Dick Tracy was the 80s. There was definitely comic book stuff. Comic book stuff has always been, like, tried to be adapted into other mediums because of how popular it is. And it shocks me that we're this deep into the game and people keep making the same mistakes and keep messing this up. So I do like to watch it and kind of analyze it and go, well, how do you do this right? Like, how do you learn from the mistakes of the past to make, like, the best comic book thing possible? And, like, the best examples on TV are, Batman too. Superman's the oldest Western superhero, I think. Like, actual, like, superpowered being. Like, there was stuff before that, but it was all, like, because before comics you had, like, or before movies you had, like, the radio serials that played on the radio. So you had those, and then they would try to make those into, you know, silent movies and then regular stuff. Once other mediums became a thing, like turning turning that popularity into something people can watch instead of listen to or read has always been a thing. I'm just trying to think of who the actual first like superhero was, like costumed superhero. I want to say it was Superman, but it may have been somebody before that. Because before that, they didn't really wear costumes, but you had comics. Horror comics were a thing, so you would have, Wolfman, and like that was real popular for a while. Oh shit. Okay, well, that's over. Yeah, Superman was 1952. I can't remember if there was one before that. I want to say the Phantom. I think the Phantom was one of the first like actual. Might have been the Shadow. Like there were some before then. The Shadow was like, I know the Shadow was before. The Shadow was before Batman, because the Shadow was like, Batman took inspiration from the Shadow. When was Schoolboy comic character the Shadow? All right, the Shadow. When was the Shadow? Yeah, so the Shadow was 1930. So 1930 was the Shadow, and it was basically just like a guy in a trench coat who used guns and fought crime. Like the actual like first like spandex wearing uniformed superhero as we know them, I think, was Superman. Wait, who came first, Superman or Batman? Who came first, Superman or Batman? Because Batman took inspiration from the Shadow. Superman was 1938 with Batman in 1939. So they were both around the same time. So Superman's first comic was 1939. Yeah, so it took like 9 years after the Shadow. The Shadow was like the first one that was kind of a superhero. Like before the Shadow and Superman, there were like no costumed guys. It was all like just regular people. It mostly focused on either horror stories or detective stories, like noir type stuff. Which, fun fact, that's what DC stands for, Detective Comics. So they did a lot of detective type stories before actually becoming super powered beings kind of thing, before that became popular. That's also why Batman is the world's greatest detective. It's a carryover from that time frame. He did a lot of detective stuff when he first launched, and over time he's done less and less of that and more superhero-y. But it does break my heart to see, like, I've waited my entire life. Like, I don't think people understand like what made the Marvel movies so great. Wasn't even that they were well done and they were entertaining, but there were people like me, an entire generation of people, 2 generations at this point, that when the Marvel movies launched in 2010, there were 2 generations of people, maybe 3 if there were some old heads still left, who had been waiting their entire lives to see these comic books that were their childhood, these comic books that they grew up with, accurately represented on a movie screen, to see what they would look like in real life, to get a real life version of them, if you will. And up until Marvel, it hadn't really been done well. You had some that got close, but like even when they gave us the X-Men movies, which weren't bad movies, but it wasn't like we got the comic book version of that. They all wore fucking biker suits. They weren't wearing their comic book uniforms. And a lot of times when they would bring comic book stuff to TV or movies before Marvel, they changed a bunch of shit to make it more realistic. So all the real crazy stuff from the comics you never really got to see on screen. And then finally we get Marvel movies where there's a fucking space Viking riding a rainbow bridge to Earth to fight giant aliens next to an Iron Man, and the Hulk actually looking like the Hulk with CG, because we can do it. It's not just a guy painted green. Yeah, like all the crazy shit's finally showing up on screen, and it's working. And now we get movies that felt like comic books, where each movie leads into another movie, and it's this ongoing plot line of multiple franchises that intertwine the same way the comics worked. And that's the heartbreaking part of it, is they made the same mistake in movies that have been made in the comic books, which was in multiverse and time travel. You take away the consequence for death, and you take away like any of the you take away any of the emotional weight of things going wrong. Like, you not only took away the consequence of death, you took away the consequence of a threat. Like, they made both mistakes at once in the TV show. Comic books usually don't even do that. Like, comic books every now and then have to do time travel. When you've got a comic that's been going since the 30s, like, you occasionally have to do time travel or multiverse or something crazy to kind of reset the timeline. Otherwise, Superman's going to be 200 years old. Batman's going to die of old age. Like, you have to do something to reset and start a new plot line and start a new continuity, you know, and kind of reinvent the characters and modernize them. You have to do that. Marvel had only been around for 10 years. They didn't have to do this. Why they went with these storylines in particular when there's so many in the fucking comics that are really good that they could have gone with. They didn't have to, like, this is like the panic button mode, and you made both mistakes at once. When they introduced time travel in Endgame, they took away the consequence for failure and death, because now if a character dies or they mess up and they lose a fight to a superpowered being, they can just go back in time and change it, and it's like it didn't happen. That takes away all the emotional weight and that cheapens it. And then they made the mistake of the multiverse immediately after, where that takes away any major threat. Now the threats have to be so big and convoluted that they're hard for general people to follow, and they're going to stop watching. People understand Earth is in danger. We live on Earth. People don't understand the multiverse is in danger, and they could prune this and prune that. People are like, what the fuck are you talking about? And when you say that there's multiple versions of Earth now, and that some characters came from those other versions or we can jump to them, well, now you've taken away the threat of Earth being destroyed, of our home being threatened, because we can just jump to another universe and start over, Rick and Morty style. So the only way to really make it a threat is to say, they're going to destroy the multiverse. And then everyone's like, okay, wait, how many versions of this thing are going to die that I should care about? I've seen, you know, Doctor Strange die like 8 times now. I don't really care anymore. Yeah. So the only people left to really watching and invested are comic book fans. And I'm not going to spoil it, because I don't know if you've seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet. But I was so angry with the ending to that movie. I loved the movie, and I was excited for the ending as it was happening. And then when it felt, right up until the very end, it felt like they were going to do what I thought they should do. Like, you could have used the Deadpool and Wolverine movie to correct this mistake and right the ship, to fix all of this. I'm not going to say what happens at the end, since you said you hadn't seen it, so I'm not going to spoil it. But right up until the end, I'll just say it looks like they're going to do one thing, and then they cuck out and don't do it. So they could have fixed all these problems in that one movie and chose not to. I mean, they still do something different at the end. It is going to have an effect on the greater universe. It's just not what you think it is. They kind of pull the rug out from under you at the last second. So there is a twist at the end, but I'm not going to say what it is. It's not really a spoiler. You kind of know from the trailers, if you're paying attention, that they're probably not going to do the thing that you think they're going to do. I just think they should have. I'll say that. Go watch that movie and then come back and we will discuss it in length. Oh, leveled up my mercenary. Okay. And I've leveled up my character. Okay. And then I want to go to the right here. The Paragon board. Wait, how did I get a skill point? Unless I got it from Renown, I guess. I've watched so much stuff on YouTube, I can't wait for a streaming service to have it. Wait, to have... Deadpool and Wolverine? Yeah. It's coming soon. That money's just making too much... That movie's just making too much money in the theaters. And I knew it would. Like, it's insane. And that's why they should have done what I think they should have done. And after you watch it, do come back and we'll talk about how I think it should have ended. It didn't end the way I think it should. But I can tell you what I think should have happened. There were a few key points in the moment where I was like, if they had done this instead of this, they could have fixed the MCU's problem in just a few moves, and they didn't do it. And then I'll talk about how I think they may still be able to salvage it in the future if they play their cards right. Increase the damage, not by much. I think I need another passive. Wait. Oh, let's increase the... Yeah. Let's throw another one into the ultimate. Alright, I got a ton of shit here. Okay, anything better? Nope, that's not better. Nope, that's not better. That's not better. 25 dexterity, maximum life, 151 armor. I don't need any more armor. I'm at max armor. So I don't really need that. No. Nope. It's not better. I'm about to have to crank up the difficulty to get better gear to drop. I need ancestral items at this point. Yeah, I just need ancestral items at this point. I'm only going to look at those now. Like this one. Which may be what I'm looking for, although the ancestral part is armor, and that's the one thing I don't need. Jesus. It does give a lot of armor, though. Wait, does it? It does increase my attack. It is a better piece of gear. Oh, part of the armor part thing is the legendary aspect, though. I lose my cold resistance, but I can re-roll the thorns into cold resistance. And that's the only real thing I'm missing? Okay, yeah, we'll wear that one. Nope, that's not better. That's not better. That's not better. That's not better. And that's not better. Okay. At them on Twitter. Unfortunately, my influence as an influencer is non-existent. So no one's going to listen to me. They should. I've got good ideas. Disney, if you're watching, if someone clips this small streamer's humble stream and it somehow makes its way in front of one of your writers or decision makers, at me on Twitter. Hit me up. I can fix your MCU. Okay, I can fix your problem. I can be Feige's right hand man. I can right this ship. This is as good a job as Feige's done. I don't think he understands comics well enough to keep going with it. He's kind of tapped the well of knowledge he has dry, and now he needs a super nerd stand at his side and whisper in his ear, help point him in the right direction. You know, keep him from driving the ship into an iceberg. I can be that guy. I can be that guy. What emote is that? Is that Willie Mac Show? I love Willie Mac Show. Willie Mac Show makes some of the best slop on the internet. I do love my slop content. Alright, what was I going to do with this one? Okay, I needed to re-roll thorns, and I need to do the reinforcement skill for the legendary. Oh, yeah, I also need to add... Wait, what are the two imprinted things on it? I don't need total armor. Or lucky hit, so... Okay. So we don't need total armor. Wait, what resistance do I need? That's what I should be looking at. Shadow resistance. I'm 5% short on shadow resistance, so we'll throw that onto this armor to max out my resistances before upping the difficulty. Natural resistance. Come on, shadow resistance. That's lightning. That's fire. Come on, give me shadow. Don't make me re-roll this. That's cold. Come on, I want shadow. Fire again. Running out of re-rolls. Shadow. Got what we need. Okay. Now, utility. Thrash size Ravager on kill or chance to freeze, mobilize, stun, or slow. Ravager on kill, extended duration is what I want. Nope, not Thrash. Not rake. I don't even use rake. Oh, baby. Thrash size? Oh, that's it. I guess it's thrash size. Do I even use thrash? Ravager, counterattack, rushing claw, the hunter. Oh, thrash is my basic attack. Oh, okay. I can live with that. At least I'm getting some benefit from it. That's fine. Okay. I don't know. It's a Twitch one. You watch Willie Mac show? I know. I know. Commentary community stuff is slop content. I'm very aware of it. It's like reality TV for YouTube, but can't help it. Some of it's good. It's my guilty pleasure. How many blue shirts do you have? I've seen 5 years of blue shirts on your YouTube. Yep, this is the official stream in uniform. You know? Trying to, you know, have like a stream in uniform kind of thing, a consistent look. You know, so that when the fateful day comes that I go viral and I become, you know, the next Ninja, the next Dr. Disrespect, the next character that they want to make a skin in Fortnite, they have a look for that skin that's going to be iconic. I'm going for an iconic look. So how many blue shorts do I have? I have 10 at this point. When I realized I wanted to make the blue shirt kind of my look, I was going for like a uniform for the stream. Oh, look, I went and just bought up a bunch of them. I filled the closet with them. So I got like a whole rack on the closet with just this like uniform, basically. I've got a few different variations of it too. For a while there, when I was doing shooting games like Call of Duty, I actually do have one of those bulletproof vests. One of those tactical vests like Dr. Disrespect wears. So I wore that for a while, but it's heavy and I didn't like the look of that after a while. It was more of a joke. I was making fun of Dr. Disrespect at the time, and I kind of wore it for a while. And then I was like, eh. So I've gone through like phases where I'll wear other stuff with it for a while. I did hats for a while. I did, like other stuff. But the shirt's kind of what stuck and kind of became like, before this blue shirt, I did do like for a while. Not all of it's on my YouTube, because the only stuff I cut onto my YouTube, especially nowadays, like if you look at my last like 10 to 15 videos, I've actually started to like put more effort into YouTube and take it seriously. So those clips are going to be vastly different from like all the old stuff. The old stuff is just me dumping highlights from game footage and stuff onto my YouTube. The last like 15 or so videos, I actually took the time to edit them and find the best parts of the stream, edit them into what feels like a YouTube video so that you can watch or listen to it, because it's more of a listening experience. And they kind of make them into what feels like a YouTube video instead of just feeling like a stream clip. They're all clips from the stream, but they're edited and made into a cohesive YouTube video instead of being like just dumped unedited clips. So, but there was a while there where before I did the blue shirt, I did the Star Trek uniform, because that's why my emote is the Star Trek uniform. That emote was actually drawn by one of the X-Men comic book artists at a Comic-Con. I paid him $200, and I stood there holding that pose for like an hour, while he drew out this cartoon, X-Men style cartoon version of me. So my avatar for my stream and my emote is like, that's that cartoon version of me wearing. And I was cosplaying as Spock from Star Trek when I did that picture, when I was at that Comic-Con. So for a while there, that was the uniform, and I was like, oh shit. So then I started wearing that cosplay outfit all the time on stream, and I realized that, I don't want to do this. I'll just go with something a little more normal. I don't want to come off as a super nerd as soon as people join the stream immediately. Like, I want to seem like more of a relatable guy. A guy who's got some class, got his shit together, not just your average. I mean, I am your average Joe, but your average Joe's who's got some class, not just a degenerate. So that's what made me settle on the blue shirt. It's a nice dress shirt, looked good on me, felt professional. So I try to give this air of professionalism, kind of set the stage. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. It's classic advice. So that's what I'm That's what kind of led to this. But my emotes are, or the stuff that pops up on screen, if you follow the channel, depending on where people are watching, I made different versions. I edited. So that picture the guy drew was huge too, by the way. I had to get him to email me a digital copy so that I could edit it and use it on my channels and stuff. The picture was actually like this big. It was like 3 feet tall. He did this huge portrait. And then he sent me a digital copy of it. And then I went into Photoshop and I made it look more like a cartoon and less like, because he did it all in color pencil, so it had a lot of highly detailed shading and stuff. Like the original picture looks way better than the avatar, because I've edited the avatar to take out a lot of that shading and to give it more muted colors and to make it look more like a cartoon and less like a drawing, so that I could easily edit it, because then I changed the color of the shirt on that avatar to become my notification for different channels when people follow. So if you follow me on Twitch, you get the purple version of it and a purple shirt with the Twitch logo here instead of the Star Trek communicator. If you follow me on Kick, because I stream on Twitch, Kick, Rumble, YouTube, I stream on all these places simultaneously. So if you follow me on Kick, you get a green version of the shirt with the Kick logo here. Follow me on YouTube, you get a red version of the shirt with the YouTube logo here. If you donate, you just get the classic one that has the unedited one. So yeah, it all depends. So I try to make it so that it's obvious on my stream that multiple platforms are watching, and I find a way to, you know, if someone follows and I get the notification, I look over to see who it is, I can instantly see what platform they followed from too. So it's just little visual cues like that and stuff for myself. And I think it adds a little little personality to the stream too. I'd say that's what I spend the most of what I'm doing most with my, what I get most out of my streaming experience is the editing aspect of it and learning to make things look more presentable, because that is what I really care about. I'm all about, there we go, that's the one I want. I'm all about presentation. Like if I had the chance or the money, I'd make my own movies. I'm real into dexterity. No! No, I did that wrong. Fuck, I wasn't paying attention. I fucked that completely up. The first pick was the thing I was changing. Shit. Now I'm stuck with thorns. Fuck me, dude. Fuck me, dude. God damn it. I'm really mad about that right now. At least I got all my resistances up, but fuck, I could have got rid of those thorns because I don't use thorns. That's the only thorns I have. I could have increased my damage with ultimate. Like I could have really optimized this gear, and I fucked it up by picking the wrong thing because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. That's why I wish there was a way to re-roll stuff like this. Wait, there's an item for this. I think I got one. Restore all tempering charges on an item. Nope. Nope. This isn't called tempering, is it? What is this called when I do this? Enchant item. I need to be able to take off the enchanted effects of an item, and I don't think there is an item to do that. Fuck! Still fucked it up. Alright, what's the rune word I was using on this? I need to put another socket on, at least get my rune back. I was using... Monigar. So, cast a skill after moving. And I get critical strike chance. Okay. Alright, let's do that. I don't know, this is an ancestral item. It's a rare drop. I mean, I'll get a better one eventually, but it took me... That's the first one I've gotten to drop the entire game, so... Fuck. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. I'm pretty mad about it, if I'm being honest. I'm kind of mad about it, but I'm just trying to let it go. It's my fault. I was staring at chat, not paying attention to what I was doing, and I fucked up. It's not a huge deal, I guess. It's just one stat. And all the other stats I have are still better stats off this piece of gear than the one I traded for. So my build's still better because of it, but it could have been so much better. It only had one bad stat on it, and I had the chance to replace it and fucked it up. So now it's not going to ever be the perfect piece of gear I wanted it to be. And to get another perfect piece of gear to drop is going to... it's going to be a long time before that happens. All right. Reduce your active ultimate cooldown. I don't need to do that. Fuck. Fuck! No. I need to turn off... Is there a way to turn it off? I need to look up the manual for this controller because I lost it. But the controller has... It's an Xbox controller, but it's got little back buttons on it that you can map to the front buttons that I was using when I play Call of Duty, so I can jump and slide and stuff without ever taking my hand off the stick. So instead of, taking my hand off the stick to press buttons, I put the A and B button on the back of the controller on the back paddles, so then I could keep my hand, see, I'm pressing the buttons right now, so I could keep my hand on the stick and keep aiming while I jump and move around. That's the only way I can play shooters with the controller. I need that one, and pass the skill while moving, there we go. Put that rune word back on there. So, yeah. But now that I'm playing something like Diablo, I keep accidentally hitting those back paddle buttons, and it's making me confirm shit and exit shit or dodge when I want to dodge. Yeah, now it's messing me up. Now it's having the opposite effect, so I need to see if I can turn off the buttons. Okay. Alright. What's the seasonal thing I'm supposed to be working on? Was that it? Is this one seasonal quest? Dark Citadel Community Challenge. Ruler of the Dark Citadel. Claim the head of Zagarel. Conquer all the wings of the Dark Citadel. Is this one of those multiplayer ones there? Load up my battle pass that I'm not paying for, so I'll get the free items. What do I get? Free items. Peg leg boots, don't care about them. An axe, I don't use axes. Is there anything else in this battle pass like even worth paying for? I don't care about that armor. I don't care about titles. I mean, kind of a cool portal, but I don't know if it's worth buying a whole battle pass for. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. It's kind of cool. Nope, nope. And horse armor. Nope. Y'all got to do better with your season passes if you want people to actually, like... If you actually want people to, like, pay for the battle pass in this game, they got to do better with these cosmetics and... Just clearing the notification. Okay. Yeah, they got to do better with these cosmetics if they want people to fucking buy this shit. Wait, what is over there? Oh, the new cosmetics I just got. I gotta clear the notification so it doesn't distract me. I have OCD. ADHD. One of the things. I got things. I got one of the things that makes me unable to ignore stuff. Whichever one that is. Self-diagnosed. Oh, yeah, it's the peg leg. Lame. I mean, it is kind of cool that that's the first cosmetic that physically alters your character's body. Gets rid of their foot and replaces it with a peg. So, it does open the door for stuff that they could do in the future. Oh, they added wings now? Diablo 3 style. Yep. The transformation to Diablo 3 is complete. It is now Diablo 3. Again. Okay, I don't care about none of that. That's clearing the notification. Alright. Okay. Oh, that's Lilith. Where's the other thing I'm supposed to be doing? Community challenge? I don't know how to... Not giving me a waypoint for that. I don't know how to track that. Alright, I'll finish mapping out the area. Might as well finish filling out the map. Try to get a few more renown points. Yeah, I mean, I heard there's some good builds with thorns. I don't know on this class, but I know like Barbarian has a few, like the tankier classes. You can actually like make a pretty viable build with a lot of. Oh, God damn it! You can make a pretty viable build with a lot of damage as you tank damage. You're constantly dealing damage. So you can do some cool shit with it. All right, I need y'all to fuck off. I can explore this part of the map.
Need more time. Need more time. Need time for that.
La. It's late here. It's late here too. 1:30 in the morning. Yep, that's what the stream's all about. Interesting convos. I usually have like people on Discord with me and we're talking about stuff, but everyone's, you know, out having social lives because it's the weekend. Thanks for popping in. Hold on. Let me get you the let me get you the socials before you go. Follow me on all my stuff. You can join the Discord. Here's the socials. And I'll get you an invite to the Discord because apparently Discord's permanent invites aren't permanent, so it won't show up. So the one that's in that link won't work anymore. You'll need your own. There you go. Join the Discord. We post gaming news there all the time. It's a pretty active place, a couple hundred people in there. So I'm trying to grow that to make it match my follower count. So I'm trying to get that bigger. But people post news articles. We talk about gaming stuff. There's non-gaming channels where we talk about, you know, movies and media. Then there's completely off-topic shit. And a lot of different voice chat rooms, so you can use it for your own, as your own little voice chat place for you and your friends. If there's a squad room, if you want to get a squad together for Fortnite or COD. There's a MMO room if you play MMOs, fighting games, etc. So you can kind of meet people who play the same kind of games as you in those voice chat rooms and talk while you game. You know, use my Discord as your voice chat instead of the in-game voice chat, and you'll make more reliable teammates, is the idea. Anyway, thanks for popping in, man. Glad you enjoyed the stream. And, you know, sub to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to step my YouTube game up. So, you know, leave some comments and some likes. I'm all about that feedback. I'm going to go back to listening to how big a piece of shit Hulk Hogan is, since I don't have anybody in Discord to talk to right now. Something for me to talk about and listen to while I game. You know, just kind of chilling. Alright, how big a piece of shit is Hulk Hogan?
To the airport, and he got on the scales, and you said over 600 pounds. He was actually closer to 7.
And lifting the giant tore his back, both biceps, and his delt in 3 places.
And when I turned him, it's, you know, tore my back, and it tore my bicep.
I don't think he was close to 700 pounds. I think he was like 5 something.
I turned him over.
I think he's exaggerating there. I think I
He
remember
would tell Get in the Game TV that he only tore
Andre the Giant
back
even
muscle
corrected
under
him
his
on that
right
before he died.
armpit and both of his biceps.
I ripped my whole back out under my armpit, ripped both of my biceps. Now, both of my
I mean, don't get me
biceps
wrong.
are
Andre the
torn.
Giant was a huge man. He was a
I
giant.
never had him fixed. That was.
So I'm sure he was
in
heavy.
2015, he was
there's
on
no
the
reason to
BS
exaggerate
report with
that.
Bill Simmons, and he dialed Andre's weight back a bit while maintaining that he was never only 500 pounds.
How tall?
I mean, he was over
He started
500
out
pounds. I
around
do remember that.
74. We weighed him at Detroit at the airport before WrestleMania.
He was a
He
monster of a
650
man,
something, you
but he
know?
wasn't like
So, I
700
mean, it's
pounds.
kinda
That's insane.
650?
Hogan would also go on to
Now
say
it's
that during the
650.
match he tore both
He was
of his
like, I think he was like
biceps,
580. I don't
flew to
think he ever
Japan the
even topped
next day
600.
And wrestled for 8 or 9 days.
For my biceps, picking him up. Nowadays, you get cut and put in a sling for 6 months, you know, but I split the next day and went to Japan for like 8 or 9 days.
This seems to be the general story he's stuck to, at least recently, as evidenced by his video with Men's Health.
As you can see, I never had my biceps fixed. I tore both of my biceps, and this part of my back is solid, but this part is all torn away.
The truth is, there is simply no indication that Andre was 600 pounds, even at his heaviest. And
Yeah, I think he was like
irrespective of
580
Hulk's
something at
story
his
about the
heaviest.
magical baggage claim scale, he definitely did not get up to 700 pounds, let alone fucking 800. Hogan's claims about his injuries are still pretty dubious.
He's that guy who
A little
tells.
more plausible,
He's that
he might
fisherman
have
who I
injured
called a
himself
fish.
slamming
But
Andre,
yeah,
but the idea that he
he can't help but exaggerate.
Shoulders and
Even though he
both
already
biceps
did
is
something
ridiculous.
impressive, it has to be more
In fact,
impressive and
the claim
more
that he
grandiose.
tore every muscle in his back at WrestleMania 3 and then wrestled in Japan for 29 days straight was something that was brought up in his medical malpractice deposition. Hogan was forced to admit that he only tore his lat muscle before going to Japan.
Oh, look at that. He put him
Even
under
still, there
oath,
aren't
and suddenly the
problems
story
with that
changes. The truth
because
comes
there
out.
is
Imagine
no way
that.
he flew to Japan the day after WrestleMania 3 and wrestled for any amount of time. I guess it's not technically a lie because he did continue to wrestle in Japan several years later. There are elements of Hogan's side of the
It's
story
not a lie,
that
it's
we
an
know to be
exaggeration, which is a
factually
form of
untrue,
lying.
though. Hogan has
Kind of,
claimed that this
depending
was
on
the
how
first
it's
time
done.
Andre had been
It's done for
body-slammed.
comedic effect, and
That
it's
is
just a
simply
joke. But if
false.
you're trying to pass it off as
Numerous
truth,
wrestlers
then you're
had
just
slammed
lying.
Andre dating back to the early 70s. This wasn't even the first time Hogan had slammed Andre. He had done so as far back as 1980. And he slammed Andre again at WrestleMania 4, which you'd think would be impossible if doing it the last time took such a heavy toll on the Hulkster's body. This isn't even the most absurd and factually incorrect statement Hogan has made about this match. During a 2005 episode of MTV Cribs, Hulk claimed that Andre died days after he slammed him.
I wrestled Andre the Giant with these boots on, and then a couple days later he passed on. These are my favorite pair of boots.
Andre would live for another 6 years and didn't even stop wrestling until 1992.
Yeah.
With some of Hogan's lies, you can understand how he thought he might get away with them. With this one, I can't even begin to fathom it. We're talking about one of the most notable moments in wrestling history that featured two of the most famous wrestlers of all time. Even in a pre-internet era, it would be an unthinkable thing to try and lie about. But in 2005, it boggles the mind. Weirdly though, this isn't even the only time Hogan has tried to claim some kind of connection or outright involvement in another wrestler's death. In 1983, Hogan would wrestle Antonio Inoki for the original version of the IWGP title. Towards the end of their match, Hulk would go for the Axe Bomber, which was his finishing move in Japan. Inoki, who was standing on the apron of the ring, was violently knocked off and appeared to have been knocked unconscious. Hogan watched on in confusion as Inoki failed to rise despite numerous attempts to revive him.
I hate that pattern.
Violently shaking his head and slapping him. Probably great for concussion, guys. Eventually, an honestly distraught-looking Hogan was named the winner of the match as Inoki was
Fuck,
carried
man.
on a
Almost
stretcher.
had him.
From my understanding, this is one of those instances in wrestling where the line between fact and fiction genuinely blurred. Whether Inoki had actually been knocked out by Hogan was uncertain, and based on Hogan's general demeanor as he watched the events unfold, he seemed pretty rattled by the whole situation. But it was a work. Just a very, very sneaky work. During an episode of
When he
Talk
does
is
that,
Jericho from
now he can
November
one-shot me.
2022, Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer and wrestling historian Fumi Saito discussed the famous match between Hogan and Inoki. According to Saito, Antonio Inoki had been incredibly secretive about his interaction to pretend to be knocked out.
Not everybody had the same answer. That's how mysterious Inoki is. But the referee didn't know about it, Sakaguchi didn't know about it, Hulk Hogan didn't know about it, Inoki just decided to lay there, right?
Now, had Hulk Hogan simply run with the story that he thought he had knocked Inoki out and was shitting his pants thinking about the repercussions, I don't think anyone would have a problem with it. It's a more than entertaining story on its own. But this is Hulk Hogan we're talking about, so he had to take it even further.
Yep, he's
Back
gotta
in
exaggerate.
2008, he appeared on Bubba the Love Sponge's show and made it seem like Inoki had developed an ego after beating Muhammad Ali and started to believe he was a real shooter. If that weren't enough, Hogan then claimed that when he wrestled Inoki, Inoki tried to shoot on him, so Hogan elbowed him in the temple and
Come on,
knocked him
I
out.
can beat this.
If you believe me, it actually
This is
gets
doable.
worse. For the next 5 days, Hogan said he had his passport confiscated and was forced to switch hotels because of death threats. Only when Inoki finally held a press conference with Hulk from the hospital to let everyone know he
there.
was okay was Hogan allowed to leave the country.
Oh, I can do
Is
it.
it possible that Hogan received death
was
threats
definitely
after the
doable.
match? A segment of the population just isn't very bright. Did he get threatened by the Yakuza or have his passport confiscated until he did a press conference with Inoki? That I very much doubt, and my attempts to find a picture of this through Google, even in Japanese, didn't turn anything up.
Yep,
The fact of the
'cause
matter
he made
is,
it up.
Hulk Hogan did not knock Inoki out so badly that he had to be brought back from the brink of death and spend 5 days in the hospital. It was an incredibly well-executed and believable work.
Oh, that didn't
but a
even count
work
towards my Tree of
nonetheless.
Whispers, which was the only reason I
Hogan's
did it.
attempt to spin the incident as Inoki developing a big ego and trying to fight him for real is simply a lie. But it's far from the worst lie of this nature because he's also inserted himself into the real deaths of pro wrestlers. When Hogan appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience in August of 2023, he told many lies, but a few stood out. One was the story of his weird connection to the murder of Bruiser Brody. According to Hogan, he was wrestling in Puerto Rico, and after the event, he and Randy Macho Man Savage went back to Savage's dressing room and found it had been trashed. Hogan then went to his own dressing room where a man with a gun was waiting for him and said that if Hogan ever came back to Puerto Rico, he would kill him. Hogan immediately left Puerto Rico and flew all the way to California, but then claims that 4 months after this incident, Bruiser Brody was called into the bathroom by the booker and had his throat slit. As with many Hogan stories, there is a grain of truth buried in there somewhere. He did wrestle in Puerto Rico, and maybe a guy threatened him with a gun, but there is no proof one way or another, just Hogan's word, which is very questionable.
Which is, yeah, shaky at best.
We know that the show Hogan referenced took place on October 19th, 1985. Brody was stabbed more than 2 years later on July 16th of 1988. Also, his throat was not slit, he was stabbed in the abdomen and died hours later. He was not found dead in the shower.
Throat slit sounds more
This is still not the end
dramatic.
of Hogan's inaccuracies, though. He claimed that Brody was killed after the match because he refused to put the Puerto Rican wrestlers over, but that's just factually untrue. The altercation happened before the event, and the other wrestlers weren't afraid to return to Puerto Rico for the trial as Hogan claimed. Wrestlers like Dutch Mantell and others who actually were there at the time of the murder received their subpoenas after the trial was over.
I've said before, my subpoena for the trial came in the day after they held it. I looked at the date on the letter, and it was mailed 10 days
he made it
before
up.
the trial, but the mail was so slow, it had just got to be where I was.
Moreover, the trial of Jose Gonzalez, aka Invader One, is viewed by many as being a sham trial due to his suspected political connections and status in Puerto Rico. Is it possible that Hogan was simply misremembering the events of this dark moment in pro wrestling history?
Made it up.
Virtually everything wrong about it purely by accident? I guess, but then why even tell it in the first place if you're unsure of the details?
He's already got a history of exaggeration. I don't think he deserves that charitability, that benefit of the doubt that he hasn't
It's a
earned.
scary enough story on its own. No need for embellishment or lying. Honestly, this
'Cause
just
he needs it to
feels
sound like a
Hulk Hogan's
movie.
equivalent of saying he was supposed to get on one of the planes that was hijacked on 9/11. If
Oh,
he hasn't
God.
already made that claim somewhere. But as I've said before,
Oh, okay, you don't-
it
no,
gets
that was a
even
joke.
worse.
I was like, did he
At
really
least
make
in
that
this
claim?
story, Hogan said there was a period of several months separating him from another wrestler's death. Not so with his lie about Kerry Von Erich. The story of the Von Erich family is a complex and deeply tragic one, but for the sake of brevity, we can't really get into it. Following a motorcycle accident and an amputation of his right foot, as well as drug and legal issues and his marriage falling apart, Kerry Von Erich became suicidal. Sadly, on February 18th of 1993, he took his own life on his father's property. Even though I'm leaving a tremendous amount out of the Kerry Von Erich story, I'm sure you can tell that it's extremely sad and tragic. All the more so because of its place in the even more sad and tragic story of the Von Erich family that has become a dark part of pro wrestling folklore. It's really not the kind of story that any person with a modicum of self-awareness, tact, or basic human decency would choose to insert themselves into.
Except
But this
Hulk
is
Hogan.
Hulk Hogan we're talking about.
Exactly.
During a 2010 appearance on Bubba the Love Sponge's program, Hogan would make the incredible claim to have been on a flight from Japan with Kerry Von Erich only 72 hours before his death. During this conversation, he said they talked about life and Kerry's brothers and his newborn baby. According to Hogan's side of the story, Kerry had no plans to end things at the time. There are numerous issues with this
people who are
statement.
actually
The first is that
suicidal
Hogan's
usually
story
don't
doesn't match up at all
vocalize
with how
their
Bret Hart
plans to
described
do it.
Kerry's mood in the period
They keep
leading
it to
up his
themselves,
death.
and then when it's
Hart
time,
spoke about
they think
Kerry
it's time to
saying
do
that
it,
his
they
brothers
just
were
do it.
calling him, and he wished to join
You won't
them.
get a warning most of the
Furthermore,
time.
This alleged 11-hour conversation.
Say that
during
as somebody who
a
had
flight
two
back
family
from
members
Japan
do that, and
almost
that's how it
certainly
happened.
Did not happen.
They just,
there is no record of either of
did
them
it.
having matches in Japan during this time period. To make it even more unlikely, days before his death, Von Erich had been
They weren't
indicted
family
on
members
drug
I was close
possession
to.
charges,
Like
stemming
relatives
from
that lived in other
January
states I
13th
rarely ever
arrest,
saw, but
and he was facing the revocation of his
They
10-year
were, like,
parole for a previous offense. So, the idea that
They weren't
he was
like distant
flying back
relatives. I
and
mean, it
forth
was like
between the U.S. and Japan at this particular time seems
aunts and uncles
very
kind of
hard to
deal.
believe.
You know, like
Hogan did claim to
direct
wrestle
family members.
400
They just
days a
we
year
didn't
due
see him
to
that
how
often. I didn't know
often he
him.
crossed time zones while flying between
I
the
just
U.S.
remember
and
my mom
Japan.
telling me about him.
But outside
mean,
of
hey,
fucking
your aunt
time
so-and-so.
travel, this conversation appears to be impossible.
In a hotel room.
Maybe Hogan and Von Erich crossed paths at some point during a flight to or from Japan,
Decided it was
but
time
it
to
did
go.
not happen 72 hours
Decided she
before
was done.
Kerry's death. Honestly, it was lies like this one that made me want to make this video. Many of Hogan's lies are inconsequential or genuinely hilarious, like saying on the radio that he had a 10-inch penis and then being forced to explain in court that he in fact did not.
Well, it's not mine, because mine isn't that size. But we were discussing the length of Hulk Hogan's.
Wow.
Seriously?
No, seriously, I do not have a 10-inch penis. No, I do not. Seriously.
Fair enough.
But then there are some, like this, that the more you
It's pretty
think
bad
about
when your
them,
lies are
the
so
darker
bad that
they
you have to
get.
explain
It's
that
not
you
just
lied
a
about your
cold and
penis
almost
size in a
certainly
courtroom.
false story about an infamous event in wrestling history. Kerry Von Erich was a real person whose life ended tragically. He was somebody's son, brother, father, and friend. People were permanently affected by his passing. To insert yourself into that story is so callous and self-absorbed
Narcissistic
that it's hard to wrap
is the
your
word
head
you're
around.
looking for.
But it can get even worse.
I can
We
wrap my
have to
head around
discuss
narcissism.
The Hulkster in Heaven. For years, Hulk Hogan's musical career has been a subject of mockery among wrestling fans. In large part, this is due to some of Hogan's more absurd claims. Like, he was asked by his good friend Lars Ulrich to join Metallica, and
No, he
also
wasn't.
he tried to join the Rolling Stones. Justin Wang has a great video on the subject where he not only looks into Hogan's claims of almost joining Metallica and the Rolling
He
Stones,
didn't.
but also examines his musical chops in general. I suggest you watch it if you want a more in-depth breakdown of these lies. It's a good video and was one of the things that inspired me to make this video. Suffice to say, Hogan was lying, and his story was contradicted by Lars himself.
Once he went by like his Christian name or something. And I don't know if anybody knows what his Christian name was, Dave Smith or something. If there was a whole thing that we had with him under a different name, but I certainly have no recollection of doing anything with Hulk Hogan. Well, damn, that's a very different story from being big pals with Lars Ulrich.
Funnily enough, this is one of the few instances where Hogan was forced to backpedal on a story. Probably because someone similarly famous and influential actually called him out on it. With
Yup.
that in mind, Hogan
What are you
has
gonna do,
been
argue with
involved in a
Metallica
number of more
about
legitimate
their band?
musical projects over the years.
You're
It's
cooked,
well known
bruh.
that before becoming a wrestler, Hogan was a musician and played bass for a band named Ruckus that was supposedly quite popular in the Tampa Bay area. His most successful musical project was probably 1995's Hulk Rules by Hulk Hogan and the Wrestling Boot Band. Well, that or his collaboration with Green Jelly where they covered Gary Glitter's I'm the Leader of the Gang. That one really aged well, huh, Hulk? Hulk Rules featured Hogan on
Jesus.
vocals and bass, as well as his then-wife Linda Bolea, J.J. Maguire, and Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. As you can imagine, it's not a particularly great album and is generally remembered for the wrong reasons. I mean, Hogan literally facepalmed when it was brought up during an interview with Noisy. Were it not for one specific song, I doubt that Hulk Rules would be so controversial though. I am of course talking about Hulkster in Heaven. Without knowing the broader context, Hulkster in Heaven is an unintentionally funny song about a terminally ill Hulkamaniac, with ridiculous lines like, I read it in the papers, I saw it on TV, I guess there'll be one empty seat when I
Wait.
wrestle at Wembley. I didn't pronounce
Wait,
that
did he turn
incorrectly.
some kid's Make-A-Wish into a song?
I used to tear my shirt, but now you've torn my heart. I knew you were a Hulkamaniac, right from the very start. End quote. The chorus is, if anything, even more insipid, with Hulk saying that when he gets to heaven and meets his friend, the two will tag up again. If you didn't know any better, this would seem like a cheesy, if weirdly touching tribute to a fallen Hulkamaniac. But of
But it's
course,
not.
by this point, we do know better. According to Hogan in his 2002 biography, this song was a genuine tribute to a child who really did pass away. I'm going to read you the passage about the story from his autobiography, and I want you to pay attention
Jesus.
to the level of compassion and the general tone with which this story is recounted by Hogan. Quote, in 1995, I came out with an album called Hulk Rules by Hulk Hogan and the Wrestling Boot Band. But really, the album was born back in 1992 at Wembley Stadium over in England. Before the show, which was sold out to the walls, I met a Make-A-Wish kid with cancer. He had a doctor and a nurse.
Called
with
it.
him,
I told you it was a
a
Make-A-Wish
whole
kid. I
medical
knew it.
entourage. He
had to
supposed
make
be
some
sitting
kids
inside when I
fucking
went out to
Make-A-Wish
wrestle,
about
but
himself.
I didn't see him there. After the match, I came
That
back
is
and
so
said,
fucking
"Where's
scummy.
the kid?"
Dude,
They told
you
me,
made
"Oh,
some
he
kids
died before
make
the
a
match
wish,
got
dying
underway."
wish about
Jimmy Hart was with me
you.
that night, so he sat down and wrote
Fuck
a song
you,
right
dude.
away in the dressing room. Another Hulkamaniac in heaven. There's one empty seat in Wembley. The little Hulkamaniac that came to see me. It's a ballad, a slow song. Anyway, we sat up and wrote 10 or 11 songs that night, because once we wrote one, we were on a roll. The profits from the record sales went to the family of the kid who died. They were having trouble paying his medical bills, so we helped out. End quote. Did anybody else tear up just a little bit? It was so emotional,
laughed a little
and you
bit.
could tell that this real kid, who had a name that Hogan definitely remembers, was important to him. Hogan was clearly affected by the child's passing in a way that could only be relieved via an impromptu songwriting session. And just think of what a good guy Hogan is to donate all of the proceeds from the album to this kid's family to pay for his medical bills. Except it's all bullshit. Hogan never wrestled at Wembley Stadium in 1992. This is just a fact. At the time of the event
Why
in
you lie about
question,
stuff
which
that's so
would have been
obviously
SummerSlam
disproven,
on
too?
August 29th, Hogan was on a hiatus that just coincidentally followed his interview with Arsenio Hall, where he poorly denied allegations that he used steroids. As with the alleged 11-hour flight with Kerry Von Erich, it's basically impossible that Hogan was anywhere near Wembley Stadium within the time frame he claims. And there are even more logistical issues with this story.
I don't
Hogan
understand.
claims
Like,
that
what makes
immediately
people
after
lie
the
so
match, he and
things that
Jimmy
are so
Hart
obviously
started writing
disproven?
a
Like, you
tribute
lie
to
about
the
things that
fallen
have
Hulkamania.
records attached to them.
However,
Why?
this claim was contradicted by J.J. Maguire.
I'll
who said
never
the
understand
song
why
was
people
actually
do that.
written in 1994.
I mean,
Jimmy
it's
Hart
narcissism,
corroborated
but
this story
guess
as
I'll never
well,
understand that
saying
part.
in the Noisy article that Hulk and everyone else there just chipped in, sat around for a few weeks, and wrote 10 songs. Hogan did wrestle at Wembley in 1994, and maybe a scenario like this played out. But Hulk's claim was that it was written in 1992, so no dice there.
Maybe he just
As
misremembered
far as
the year?
proceeds
Yeah.
from the album going to the anonymous kid's family, there is simply no evidence of that happening whatsoever. And it doesn't make sense anyway, as the kid was from the UK and his medical care would have been covered by the NHS. Also, it's just a small complaint, but in the opening lines of Hulkster in Heaven, Hulk says, "I read it in the papers, I saw it on TV." This implies that not only did Hulk know about the child's death before the match, but it was noteworthy enough to make it on the news. You can chalk it up to shitty songwriting, but I'm still considering it a lie. As bad as this is, and it is pretty shameful and disgusting to make up a story about a kid with cancer, it gets even worse. Over the last 22 years,
course it
Hogan
does.
has embellished this bullshit story in ways that only
Jesus
a delusional
Christ.
narcissist could. When Hulk spoke with Muscle and Health last year to shill some stupid CBD oil product, he told an even more unbelievable version of the Hulkster in Heaven story.
I was in Wembley Stadium and I saw a lot of Make-A-Wish kids. I had a kid there that was in rough shape. The EMTs were with him and he was on a stretcher.
Zaldry, if you're
You know,
still
his
watching,
body odor and stuff.
Sorry, I got wrapped up in my conversation with the other guy, and I was reading yours. I just didn't directly comment to you, but when Superman debuted in 1932, I think is what we read it was, 1930, 1932. When Superman first debuted, though, he did not have the power to fly. Like, he did have superpowers, and they were kind of wild. A lot of them he doesn't still have to this day. Like, he had some really weird superpowers, which is why he's considered the first superhero. But ironically, the ability to fly wasn't one of them, which is why originally he's able to jump tall buildings in a single bound. Yeah, he could just jump really high. He didn't get the ability to fly until later, and that's when the "it's a bird, it's a plane" thing came from. That was more like in line with the movies. Some of his like weirder powers back in the day was he had the ability to spawn small copies of himself with his hand. He'd hold his hand out, and you could find like images of it where Superman spits out little like 3-inch tall Supermen out of his hand. And he could spawn an army of mini Supermen that all have the same powers as him. He could do. That's why in the 70s movies he had crazy powers. Like there was that famous scene where he fixes the Great Wall of China by like shooting lasers out of his eyes, and then all the bricks just start appearing. Yeah, he could just do whatever. They didn't really define his powers until later and give him set powers. Like back in the day, he could just do whatever. there was a famous scene where he kissed Lois Lane to make her forget that he was Clark Kent. So he could kiss you and like erase your memory. Like he could just do whatever. There's a bunch of weird shit that Superman did back when he first came out. Like they just let him. He was basically just God. He could just do whatever the fuck he wanted. They eventually said he's got too many powers. He's impossible to write for, and then gave him like a set number of powers and an actual weakness. Like the kryptonite also didn't come till later. He just didn't have a weakness. He was basically just a god among men. He could just do whatever he wanted. That's how Superman started. It was crazy, but yeah, Superman, like that, his popularity spawned all of the other, masked, costumed wearing, superpowered people, whether they be hero or villain, that became comics as we know it. So that's why Superman's usually credited for it. Was he the first that wore a costume? Probably not. I think the Phantom may have even came before him. I know the Shadow did. We looked at the Shadow. I think the Phantom came before him too. So there were a few, but none of them had superpowers. They were just people in costumes. Like Shadow used guns. He inspired Batman. The Phantom inspired some other comic book characters, but he was like supposed to be like a version, he was inspired by Phantom of the Opera. So he was just a guy in a suit who, a guy who put on a suit who did stuff. Yeah, that's what they mostly were, which is kind of the inspiration and kind of the kind of the nod that like comics about people without superheroes like Kick-Ass are kind of a nod and a wink to, kind of tongue in cheek of making fun of. That real people that do that are just, if you were to do that in real life, it wouldn't end well for you.
It had a smell to it that I hadn't smelled in a while. Not bad, but it was just a different type of smell. I told the doctors and the EMTs, the kid's in kind of trouble here, so let me say my goodbyes and give him a hug and kiss him. And I got a nice place for him out at ringside at Wembley Stadium.
Just making all this shit up.
In Hulk's original telling of the story, the kid was supposed to be sitting ringside, but in this version, Hulk had a special area roped off for him.
So I went to wrestle. And I kept looking, and the kid wasn't there. I said, what happened to the family out there? And they said, oh, the kid passed away. When I found out the kid passed away, my manager, Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South, he used to be in a band too. So we stayed up all night, and we wrote 12 songs for the kid's family.
He just likes the attention. This is all for the attention.
He and Jimmy Hart stayed up all
night. You can see it in his face. I know you guys aren't watching the video, but when he's doing these interviews, like you can see him like light up like a kid at Christmas when he's got someone locked in and has their full attention.
Hulk added a whole new set of lies to the story in the form of a strange connection with
because he has to keep the attention going, and when you've told the same story over and over, people already know it. You're not getting any new attention from it, so you got to keep adding to it.
Number one on Billboard for 8 weeks. We donated the money to the family.
That's how the narcissism
Simon
works.
Came back to me and said we needed to do the song with a band called Green Jelly and something called I'm the Leader of the Gang, a Gary Glitter song. That did really well on Billboard too. When I returned to the States, I had a crazy idea. Since I was still wrestling, I might make music here too. So I grabbed Cyndi Lauper and Rick Derringer and a bunch of people, and we recut a ton of songs. Simon came over and helped produce the wrestling album. Then he came back and produced the second wrestling album, Pile Driver, and he never left. He stayed here and he became this monster producer. He's the nicest guy in the world. He plays a tough guy on
unlocking
TV,
waypoints and stuff
but he's
now.
a real sweetheart.
Casually
We're
grinding
still great
and unlocking
friends
the
to
rest of
this
the map,
day.
getting the rest of my renown.
There is so much
character.
wrong with what he said here that it's going to take a minute to untangle all of it. First, Simon Cowell did not produce Hulk Rules. He's not credited on the album, and Jimmy Hart directly contradicted Hulk's story in the aforementioned Noisy interview by saying that Simon Cowell called them up after hearing Hulk Rules and helped facilitate the collaboration with Green Jelly. That also could not have happened as stated because their cover of I'm the Leader of the Gang came out in 1993, 2 years before Hulk Rules. Maybe Simon Cowell did hook them up with Green Jelly, but it can't have happened in the way they're saying.
There's usually a nugget of truth to it.
As far as I know, Simon Cowell has not spoken on the issue. Hogan's story about grabbing Cyndi Lauper and Rick Derringer and having Simon Cowell produce the wrestling album and Pile Driver is equally nonsensical. Simon Cowell did work with the WWF to produce WrestleMania, the album, but that came out in 1993. The wrestling album, which did feature Cyndi Lauper and was produced by Rick Derringer, came out in 1985. And Pile Driver, the wrestling album too, came out in 1987. So, unless Hulk Hogan once again used his time travel powers, There is simply no way that Simon Cowell produced Hulk
He is a
rules in
time wizard.
1995.
He's from the
then
future.
introduced
He's here to
Hogan
save us
Green
all. How
Jelly
dare
in
you not believe him?
1993, Before coming to the States to work on the 2 wrestling albums
Hulk
in
Hogan will save us from
1985
Skynet.
and 1987 respectively, then circled back to 1993 to do the WrestleMania album. But perhaps Hogan is just that generous with his time manipulation abilities.
Time Wizard!
Also, while it's basically peanuts in comparison to the rest of the lies in this story, Hulk Rules was not #1 on the Billboard charts for 8 weeks. It may have reached as high as number 12 on the children's charts depending on who you asked, but it seems hard to verify. Then we have the body odor comments. Hogan stops just shy of saying he could smell death on the kid,
Okay.
but what other implication could there be to this new addition? And what is the point of adding it to this story? To let us know that Hogan
Pretension.
is clairvoyant, or that
Pretension.
he has super senses? This make-believe story is supposed to be about the tragic death of a child, not Hogan being a fucking
But it's
X-Man.
about him
It
getting
elevates this
attention,
from being an
yes.
incredibly narcissistic and pathetic story to a truly sickening and depraved one. The worst part about all of this is that I don't think it's that far from the truth. Hogan has worked with Make-A-Wish.
It was me, Michael Jackson, Mr. T, who saw the Make-A-Wish kids during the 80s and 90s.
So this creepy, self-aggrandizing, child-sniffing fable was very likely inspired by real experiences Hogan had. But rather than actually dedicating the song to a real child or children or working
He
with
just
Make-A-Wish
made one
to
up.
produce Hulk Rules for
'Cause
charity,
it had to
he
be-
just made a story up afterwards to make himself look like a thoughtful and charitable
Yep.
guy instead of a
And
self-obsessed
already working
guru.
with Make-A-Wish
It's fucking
does that.
disgusting.
Like, you don't need
At
the
same
story.
time, the story of Hulkster in Heaven is the most quintessential Hulk Hogan lie, because it's lies within lies, and to get to the truth you have to peel back
A
the
web
various
of lies.
layers and sift through all the detritus to find the evidence that proves him wrong. That can take hours, which is how,
Ain't nobody
despite
got time
being
for that.
called out countless times over the years, Hogan is still able to get away with most of this bullshit. When he was shilling CBD
Yeah,
oil
he's-
last year,
he's
he
just
went on
like-
numerous podcasts
like Donald
and
Trump.
spoke for hours.
That's
I'm
the
sure
tactic.
he told many more tall tales that the vast majority of people would not be able to debunk without investing a considerable amount of time into it. And if you're not familiar with Hogan's reputation as a liar, why would you even bother? It does make you
Yeah,
wonder
exactly.
why he does it.
That's how
though.
Trump keeps his
Hulk
fans,
is
and
a
everybody's
living
wondering
legend.
how does he
He's
still
one
have
of
so
the
many people that
greatest pro
follow him when
wrestlers
he's
of all
so
time,
obviously
and one of
lying?
the most
Because if you're not someone who keeps up with it,
recognizable figures of the 20th century.
there's enough
He's
truth in what they
accomplished
say
more
to
than
sound
most
believable, so
people
you
could
just
ever
you
dream of, and
just
he's
take
had
them at
enough
face value.
experiences to
You're a
fill
fan of
multiple
theirs. Why would you
lifetimes.
question the thing you
Why
like?
does he
Yeah.
feel the need
That's
to
how it
embellish
works.
stories that were already legendary by any standard? Why do they get more grandiose as time goes by? Why does he make up stories out of whole cloth? That question is the reason I wanted to make this video in the first place. Hulk's lies are frequently hilarious, either because they're so ridiculous that they defy logic, or because they're so clearly lies that you wonder why he even tried telling them in the first place. But some of them are also quite dark and disturbing for what they suggest about his character. There is something insidious about his need to insert himself into stories of other wrestlers or insinuate he has some
Narcissist.
connection to the dead.
I don't know if
get the
insidious
feeling
is the
that
word I'd
Hogan
use. It's
is
definitely
unhappy
selfish.
with the idea that there could be any notable event in wrestling history that doesn't
Didn't
bear the
involve
mark
him,
of the
yeah.
Hulkster. So now he's retconning himself into events he never took part in, and in many cases would have been physically impossible. for him to
literally
take part
rewriting
in.
history.
I suppose some of it comes
Because if
down
you can
to
make
Hogan
enough people
honestly
believe it,
misremembering
then
things.
eventually
As
the
I
people
said,
who
he
know
has
the
enough memories for
truth
multiple people,
will be
so
outnumbered
it's
by the
possible
people
he
who
just
don't,
gets things
and as
mixed
those
up
people
sometimes.
die off and history
I'm
is
sure
written,
I got some things wrong while
your
making
tall
this video,
tales
and I
will just
spent a lot of
become
time
how
researching
the
it.
story's
I'm
told.
not going off the top of my
It's a
head in
historical
live
game of
interview.
telephone.
Also, Hogan has suffered a bunch of head injuries, so I doubt his memory is 100% as good as it could be. It's understandable that he might get some facts wrong, or misremember the date something happened.
Look at you being
Regardless,
charitable to
some
Hulk
of these
Hogan.
lies are so egregious that they can't be justified as simple mistakes. The only explanation is deception. The question then becomes, is he doing it intentionally? You
Yes.
start to wonder if he knows what he's saying is bullshit, or if he's told himself the story so many times that he actually believes it to be true.
That's
Is
true.
He,
He
saying
could
these
believe it
things as
himself.
Hulk Hogan, the character.
He could have
while
told
Terry
them to
Bollea, the
privately
man,
so often
knows
that
them to
someone's
be
like,
false.
you
Are
need
they
to say this in
even
an interview, and you
separate
just
entities
listen.
anymore? Or has
Possibly.
the line between them blurred to the point that the distinction can no longer be drawn? Ultimately, that's a question that only Bollea/Hogan has the answers to.
We've talked about Hulk Hogan several times. I need to make you understand this, that Hulk Hogan gave up his privacy the moment he walked out his front door, became a celebrity in anonymity. And so I don't like talking about Hulk Hogan's penis, but I've already tried to explain to you, I gave up my right as Hulk Hogan to have Hulk Hogan have any privacy. I don't know how much clearer I can make that to you.
Need more time.
As always,
What you're saying
I wanna
doesn't
thank
make
you
sense.
for watching the video, as well as liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you would like to support the channel, please consider becoming a channel member, leaving a super thanks, or visiting
He's basically
the
acting
Patreon.
like Hulk Hogan's a
And
different
special
person.
thank you to my supporters on Patreon.
And using
who
that
help
in a
make these videos
courtroom as
possible.
like it's
Thank
not
you.
me, it was Hulk
Squirt,
Hogan. Yeah, it's not
Jonas Namenson,
how it works.
Rusty Shackelford, Jackson, Fightback CBD.
Alright. Oh, that's the end of that. I don't need to listen to him read off his Patreon, but good video. He didn't go as deep into a lot of the Hulk Hogan lore as I would have liked. I remember some he left out from back in the day. Like I said, my older brother was obsessed with wrestling back in the day, so I remember seeing some of this stuff and being like, that sounds made up. Like even as a kid, I was like, he's saying some stuff that like just doesn't sound right.
Need time for this.
But the fans don't care. And I think to an extent the fans probably know it's fake because most of wrestling is fake, so why wouldn't the stories they tell be fake also? And they see the lies someone like Hulk Hogan would tell just part of the character, which Hulk Hogan himself kind of believes. I mean, that's what he's saying in a courtroom is it was part of how I play the character. Yeah, so they all just see it as like part of the show to keep you invested in the show even after the show's not on TV anymore. You know, it's how these people become obsessed with wrestling to begin with. It was like media's first form of parasocial relationship, like before the internet existed. All these videos and all these interviews and stuff of these guys like staying in character and always playing it up. Like it became ways you were following them across multiple forms of media even before social media existed. And you became invested. Like they started to feel less like characters and more like real people. Like it was this ongoing plot line that extended across multiple forms of media. So, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense why you'd lie about it, but I get why, people would become invested in it like that. Like the fans. Oh, I never personally got into wrestling. The fact that I knew it was fake and the soap opera like storylines I always found to be so ridiculous I couldn't help but laugh at them. And then after the joke is worn off and they're no longer fun to laugh at, I just couldn't be a fan anymore. I mean, I'm impressed by the stunt-like performances because they're not wrestlers. It's not real wrestling. Not in the Olympic sense. They're stuntmen performing stunts for show. And that part's fun to watch. But after a while, movies started doing stunts more impressive than wrestling did. So, yeah, I just kind of stopped caring about it. But good video. It's a good companion piece for the Vince McMahon video to kind of show, the mentality of some of these people. And the effect wrestling has on them. Both psychologically and physically. It's a fascinating form of media that I, unfortunately, I think should die, but unfortunately it's only becoming more popular. Like you would think with movies and special effects being able to do things way more impressive than this being fake wouldn't matter. But hey, it's got its sycophants, man. It's got its stands. So if you enjoy wrestling, enjoy it, but don't get too invested in it. It's all just entertainment, folks. Okay. That stronghold's done. Let's go do this one. Good video though. Who online? Chase still offline. Ozzy still offline. Icy offline. Icy ain't been on in a while. No, you're getting ready to get married or something, so I guess he's busy. But damn, be nice if he'd check in, you know? There no blacksmith here? Yeah, there he is. Upgrade my aspects. Alright, yep. That's where we're going. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Oh!
The wind's grown too cutting, even for these parts.
That's right, I gotta get up there from over here.
I need more time. These goat rails spread nothing but death. Need time for this.
And I'm about to crank it up to Torment 2.
Need time for this.
Where's the way down? There it is. Damn, moving so slow.
Need more time. Need time. Need time for this.
Frozen.
Need time for this.
Thank you, mercenary.
Need more time.
Frozen journal.
We always knew something was under the ice, but we thought we could fend off whatever was in the tunnels. Yesterday, I found my daughter Kala crying. She told me she saw monsters in the caves and begged for us to leave. I told her nothing would drive us from our home. I left afterwards to hunt. When I returned, I had to push through raging winds and heavy snow to reach the village. I found the guards first. They were encased in ice. The monsters my daughter warned me about had overrun.
The Khazra's storm has ended. Not ready yet.
Yeah, you should have listened to your daughter. That's why this happened. Yep, melt the ice.
Not ready yet. I'm not bad. I promise. Need more time. It is done.
Ooh, got an ancestral out of that one. Sweet. Okay, there we go. Another one done. What is this? Maximum life, thorns, healing received. Still not as good as the one I got. Squeeze a little more dexterity out of it, I guess. Only thing I can really do with it now. Ah, fuck. I'm still mad at myself for fucking that one up. Finally get a really good piece of gear and then I fuck it up. I wasn't paying attention.
That's good salvage.
And it's my fault. Fuck, man. I'm still mad at myself for that. Dodge or block an attack. You gain increased attack speed? No. You do 1% increased damage for each 3% of your maximum life you have as a barrier. 30% chance to knock down vulnerable enemies. Deal 30% increased damage. Crowd controlled enemies. Can stack up to 10 times. I do move a lot. Go with that one. No, go this way. Go. Next board is up. Just got to get to that legendary node. What are these? Infernal Horde Compass? Oh yeah, Infernal Horde. Wave cap of 8. Try to do one of those. Another level gain. Paragon 77. Oh, and I leveled up my mercenary. I'll max him out and then I'll switch back to Rhinar and get a secondary mercenary to start leveling. Okay, which way do I want to go? This way leads to maximum life and healing received, and this way leads to dodge chance, dodge chance, dodge chance, and lucky hit chance. Let's go that way. Okie dokie.
Unexpected.
Anything else I can upgrade? Wait, yeah, that helps. Brings me way above the threshold I want to be at. Means I can almost stop using these. Yeah, 120 armor. 120 is 240. I can stop using the skulls now and use something else. I can switch out those. I already have all of the resistances I need, so let's see the jeweler. Find a new thing to use that on. Rings and amulets. Pointless healer. There's no jeweler here? There's no jeweler here. Alright. Well, let's... Camera started moving on its own. Alright, jeweler. See the jeweler. We'll make some new jewels to put into some new gems to socket. Now I don't need skulls anymore. I only need 1,000. I only need 1,000 shadow resistance. No, I only need 1,000 of the all resistance to all elements. It's poison, fire, ice, armor, and lightning. Okay, I guess I'll just keep the skulls then, because I don't know if these gems are gonna do anything major to help me. So maybe the higher armor will help a little bit. Because it does tell you the armor's capped, right? Capped at 1,000? Yeah, armor's capped. 1,000 armor is required for maximum reduction. Yeah, so armor's capped. But I can't use gems for anything else. Unless there's stuff I can do with these that'll... yeah, I can't put those into the... Yeah, there's nothing else I can slot into them, so it doesn't really matter. Keep one of these running. Do the seasonal stuff. Okay. Well, never mind. I thought maybe there was some other stuff that would be better suited for it, but there's not. That's right, we were going to do one of these compasses. Do this one. Oh, first, take a break for a minute. Fuck, man. Oh. Get a little music going while we hang out, talk to chat for a little bit. I'm gonna Google some stuff, look up stuff. Na 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 na. Okay. That's right, I was making a Reddit post earlier. Did any of those bear fruit? Let's go to Reddit. Check out my Reddit notifications. I hadn't got a reply for the thing I'm looking for yet. Is this tattoo valid? Wow, he got a Call of Duty tattoo. Lego Fortnite? RuneForge? I hate the RuneForge so much. I didn't even know that was in the game. I need to go back and play Lego Fortnite. They've apparently added a bunch of shit I didn't know about. Is this 7 Days to Die? How can I fill these holes? Oh. You can't, because it's just the way the game's programmed. Really nothing you can do about it. Last season short, this season too long. Last season was short, is this one too long? Because they don't have anything planned. They don't know what they're like, probably trying to work out another collab for next season, and they haven't got one in the bag yet, so they're just letting this season run until they can plan something. I'm guessing that's probably how the seasons in Fortnite work. That they try to make collabs with other stuff and plan out their season, and if it takes a while for licensing or for them to get the rights to something or permission to use stuff, then if they get delayed, instead of delaying a season, they just let the current season run longer so people can earn their rewards, which is fine. That's a fine way to do that. That's how I imagine it probably works. jump even possible? I've been trying for a while. Double jumping at the last second and then immediately rolling. Yeah, you could double jump and roll into that. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at a Dead Cells post. Lollipop Chainsaw remake. It won't be long before there's a nude mod. Always happens. I've been trying to get all achievements in 50 games in the year 2024, and I've only got 4 left. Which 4 should I pick? Oh, and you're doing them all off Game Pass games. Well, you should pick some that have like easy achievements and wouldn't take long to get. If you're gonna fully complete them. Probably indie games would be your best bet, or narrative-driven games. Something like a visual novel kind of thing. I completed my uncut Dragon Ball Z VHS set. Oh, that's right. They did that thing with the spines on Dragon Ball where they all form one big picture if you collect them all and like line them up on a shelf. Yeah. Where each saga creates a picture on the side. They do look good on a shelf, but I mean, they're fucking VHS. No one's got a VHS player anymore. Like, they're nothing but something that'll just look cool on a shelf. God, I used to have like half of that collection though back in the day. I had like, I think I made it up to the Trunks saga, or the first part of the Android saga where Trunks came in, Future Trunks, through that arc. They did look awesome on a shelf too. And then I lost them all in various moves over the years and shit. Okay, well, nothing on my Reddit post, so we'll let the music play for a while, though. Alright. Go back to Diablo. Crank the volume back up for Diablo, though. Whoa, listen to music. Okay. Down, down, down. Alright, let's go do the Infernal Horde. Where the bad guys at? Where'd he go? Bring it!
Need more time. Not ready. Need more time. Need time.
Yeah, just being able to spam the ultimate is awesome. Jesus. Okay, we'll wait 30 seconds for it to reset before we go into the next wave. Now what's this one? Hellborn are hunting you. Hellborn grant +1 Aether. Normal monster damage for 25%. Killing them spawns Aether events 50% faster. We'll do this one. I don't care if they hunt me. Alright.
Not ready.
You fight to live.
Unlimited ultimate! Unlimited power!
Need more time. Need time for that. Need time for that. Need more time.
Oh my god. So many enemies. There we go. Keep this gravy train rolling.
Need more time.
The more enemies I kill, the more ultimates I get to spawn. Jesus. Alright, what we got? Fire rains upon you. At the end of each wave, spawn 3 to 9 Aether. Ooh, yeah.
Need more time.
Unlimited power!
Not ready yet. Need more time. Need time for that.
Getting injured over here. Oh, nope. Can't be caught in that.
time.
There we go. Give me those unlimited ults.
Need more time.
Oof. Alright, take a little break between the waves. Okay, what do we got? I don't want to drain my health. Oh, yeah, I'll take this one. Seems like an easy one.
I need more time.
I'll start spawning the hard shit so I can start popping them all. Is that the butcher? Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm in trouble. Oh no, he's not that hard. Okay, he's not as hard as I thought he would be. I thought the butcher was going to be like super hard.
Need more time. Need more time.
I need my ult pop. Come on out.
Need more time.
Elite damage. These are fiends grant +2. Let's let the elites deal more damage. See how that ends for me. Probably a bad idea.
Need more time.
Come on, spawn the good shit.
Seems kind of scary.
Yeah. Don't fuck with these ultimates, baby.
Need more time. Need time. Need time.
Come on, ultimate.
Need more time. Need time.
There we go. Ultimates. Hard go. Oof. Playing Hellborn invigorates me, whatever that means. Aether Lords now spawn. They grant +3 Aether. Invigorating Hellborn. Let's do this one. I want to see what those are.
Need more time.
Is that all you got?
Need time.
Oh, I guess that was him, huh?
Need time for that. Need time for that. Need more time.
Shit! Shit's getting intense.
Not ready. Need more time.
Come on, big guy. What you got?
Need time for that.
Oh. One guy left. Wave him on, 6 out of 8. Unstoppable elite. Spell council damage, defeating them grants. Plus 15 Aether? Let's go with the plus 15 Aether. We're trying to get max Aether out of this run. Take a little break and drink some Pepsi. Eat some Triscuits. We're all about the healthy snacking here. I know what you're saying. Pepsi's not that healthy. First of all, don't drink it every day. And when I do, 0 sugar Pepsi. Okay? Alright. Black Label. Round it out with some healthy Triscuits. Bap, bap, bap. Never buy a store brand Triscuit. Okay? Only get the real deal. Tried to save some money. Tried to get the store brand Triscuits. Called them woven wheats. And I was like, oh, it's the same thing, right? No. Sometimes the store brand's close enough. And you can get away with it. And it's good. Save yourself some money. You get a product that's pretty close to the original. Not in this case. Triscuits are expensive for a reason. They're the real deal, son. What's your favorite flavored Triscuit, chat? I'm not the only one who eats this stuff, right? Yeah? You guys snacking healthy? Stay in shape? You got to go to the gym to stay in shape, too. That's a myth. A lot of people think, oh, I don't have time to go to the gym, so then they just don't even try. You don't have to go to the gym. There's a lot of stuff you can do from home. It don't even take you that long. 30 minutes a day. If you just work out 30 minutes a day, you can stay in pretty decent shape doing just that. Push-ups, some sit-ups, that kind of thing. Doesn't require you to buy any equipment or nothing. For the last pizza. Okay. Alright. Checking the socials and shit real quick. Okay, I already read that one. What's this one? Must not be anything going on in the game and news department. I follow a lot of game and news channels and shit. Oh, here. Okay, no. I'll never understand what causes shit to go trending. So much of this shit is so cringe. Alright. Alright. Let's find out what the Fell Council is. This may be the part of the run where I die. Oh shit. It's gonna get real in here. Let's keep those ultimates running. There we go. There he is.
Need time. time for
Gotta avoid that crowd control stuff on the ground too. If this momentum stops, I am fucked.
Need time for
Bitch. We got all the time in the world, bitch.
that. Need more time.
There we go. Keep it running. Yep. More ults, more ults, more ults.
Need more time.
Need more ults. Ah. Jesus. Holy hell. Normal monster damage. Killing them spawns Aether events faster. Oh, here we go. I don't even use my evade that much with all the movement stuff I got. This won't even feel like a punishment.
Need more time.
Oh fuck, what is that? Oh, it's already dead. Never mind.
Need time for that. Need time for that.
Holy shit snacks. That is a lot of poison.
Need time for that.
Oh, that's the explosion. Shit, oh shit, oh shit. Let's keep moving, keep moving.
Need time for that.
Come on, get my ults back. There we go, ults back. There we go. That'll clear the room. Oh. Okay, they cranked this shit up to 11 for this event. Holy shit. It just keeps coming. What did this give me? Or dodge chance and lucky hit chance? Okay. Okay, get our Paragon levels up. Oh, look at the floor anus. Oh, it's puckering out. Ugh. Floor buttholes. Yeah, I'm coming. We'll give you this ass whooping.
Need more time. Need more time.
Focus on one at a time. Hi-oh!
Need more time.
Can't hit me if you can't catch me. That's the general idea. Oh, I ain't letting those like fucking kamikaze guys get me.
Need more time. Need time.
There you are. Where you going, baby? You run from me. Unlimited power.
Need time for that.
Oh, okay, that was it. I thought he was respawning. I thought he had another form. The way he jumped out like that, but I guess not. Okay. There we go. Holy shit. Rewards, baby. Oh, that sweet dopamine hit of that loot drop. Look at that, I got uniques. Oh, that was a good luck. Oh, this is a good event. This is what you farm. Holy shit. Feels good, bruh. Never died, never need to revive. Oh. Oh yeah, I think we're ready for Torment too. I think we're ready. I think we're ready. Hmm. We are. I'm liking this build. This is fun. Don't need that. What's this do? When you would be damaged for at least 40% of your maximum life at once, it is instead distributed over the next 2 seconds and reduced by 29%. Don't need that. That looks like it's focused more on the sorcerer. Affect him with multiple elements, and then it'll do maximum damage. Got more critical strike chance. More resistance all elements, which I don't need because I'm at my max there, so I don't need that. Movement speed, non-physical damage, resistance, cooldown reduction. You cast a skill with a cooldown, you explode, dealing fire damage. Not a very good unique. Hey, an ancestral unique. Now we're talking. Same unique though. It's probably not even as good as what I'm wearing, is it? It isn't. We got more of them, don't we? +1 to dexterity. I'll lose my vulnerable damage, so I don't want that. What do these do? This is the better version of it. All stats, maximum resource, critical strike damage, resistance to all elements. Your skills gain... Oh, this one has the better proc on this though. 40% critical strike chance per point of primary resource you have when cast up to 40%. Each point of primary resource above 100 grants skills +2 critical strike damage instead. I'll hold on to that one. I may try that one for a little bit. I went the long way around, but whatever.
How can I help? I can break that down.
Expect unlocked.
Come back if you need the forge.
For that mustache. Thorns is the one it upgraded to. On top of that, it couldn't be dexterity. You. Game just does not like me right now. There we go. Plus dexterity. Give me that. Take that.
A kingly lake. Use it well.
What did I get off this one? Oh, just all stats. Okay. That's also a good way to farm the stuff to masterwork shit. Hell yeah. Oh, and I can level up my seasonal stuff. It's almost 3 AM. I think this is a good stopping point. Boost to that, boost to that. Yeah, I should have been doing this first and then done the story stuff and did it backwards. I could have been getting extra materials and leveling up and getting all my upgrades faster had I done this first. I didn't realize they gave you buffs like that. I'd have done this first. I started the season journey first. More stuff for the season. And to getting legendary items from Hell Chest. Sure. I should probably be reallocating these. It's only 900 gold. Whenever I want to do a different activity. Purveyor of Crosses. 18 Oprah rewards after completing a Seething Realm. So whenever I go to do one of those, I can get plus 40% on that one. To do this one to boost the rate in which I gain my reputation. Finish out the seasonal stuff. In fact, I'll do that. Fuck the spoils. There we go. Give myself a boost to that. Oh, and another chapter is complete on this season journey. Ah, spit out the sweet, sweet rewards.
Can't do that here.
I'm gonna lose my dexterity though. Get more dexterity, lose my vulnerable damage. Not worth doing. There we go. Rewards from the season journey ain't all that great.
The forge is ready for whatever.
I was able to upgrade one part of my aspect, so I was able to get something out of it. What do you want me to do? The Echo of Hatred and Dark Citadel Community Challenge. Does that mean you have to do it like as a player base, or do I have to get like a clan together to do this? I'm not sure what this is. What is this? Oh, the Maggot King. For real. Hanged Man's Hall. Yeah, I gotta go farm the bosses at some point too. Glacial Fissure. Yeah. I'm gonna finish mapping this out. Start mapping out the new map stuff. Okay, so still got a lot left to do. We're making a lot of progress. What did they say the cap on Paragon levels was? That like the 200, 300? I can't remember what it was. Anyway, probably where I'll call it. It's almost 3 AM. It's my usual stopping point. Alright, I want to thank all you wonderful witches for watching. If you are new to the stream, there are socials above my head here. And you can find me on almost all social media. The Twitter will let you know when I go live. Discord is where the community's at. It is a couple hundred strong. It grows every single day. We post game and news there. There's off-topic stuff. There's media stuff. There's just general chat. There's a little something for everybody. So you're almost guaranteed to make yourself a new friend, a new gaming buddy, or maybe even a new lover. And if you want to be part of the streams, you can always pop into the waiting room. And, you know, when we see you're in there, we'll pull you up into the stream and we can have some on-stream discussions. The YouTubes where you can get all of the best clips, the highlights from the channel made into nicely edited YouTube videos. And they also serve as a podcast-like listening experience. So put me in your ear while you're going on your walk, doing your trip to the gym, your day at work. For now, though, I'm going to bed. We could try to do these streams every night, starting around 11 p.m. Eastern. But hey, you know, it's the weekend. I may do longer streams. For now, though, I'm out. I want to thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you wonderful witches on tomorrow's stream. Have a good night, everybody. What is this? What is this music we're listening to? This isn't my exit song. We have a special song for the exit. Let's play that.
Death waits in the spotlight, highlights in his eyes. Fingers dance on the joystick, lost in the digital buzz. Sexy moves with the gameplay through the night air. Screens light up with desire, fans trapped in this snare. Sweat drips from the brow, excitement off the scale, man. Virtual games, the place we fall hard and fast. Shots explode in frenzy, quick in the next move. In Death Wish we trust joystick, master of the groove. Joystick fever drive us mad wild. Stream age seduction, fever gets tactile. Death Wish the king, leading us astray. Joystick fever, night melts away. In a screen ignited passion rises steep. In game world fantasies we plunge deep. Eyes glued to the screen, can't break free. Death Wish seduction with joystick destiny. Pixels burning slow, seductive flare. Lost in the madness, no need for prayer. Together we ride in this electric storm. Joystick fever, our hearts reborn. Joystick fever, drive us mad wild. Stream age seduction, fever gets tactile. Death makes the king, leading us astray. Joystick fever, night melts away.